Hello, hello. How's everybody doing? We've made it to another episode of the Witching Hours. So how's everybody doing out there? For some reason, we're not getting your audio. Medium.
How about now?
There we go.
Is my camera doing something weird for you?
No.
Is it being all jumpy?
No.
Because it's being really weird for me. Like it's gonna give me a seizure, I think.
Oh no.
Oh goodness. Hey everybody.
Yeah. This is the Witching Hours, flying through your internet to your device like a UAP that splits into hauntingly unexplained and downright weird. This is the Witching Hours, ready to take off in the flash of an eye. Good night to one and all, wherever and whenever you are listening to our program tonight.
You found
Glad
it.
to have everybody in.
Yay.
So this is a very special Witching Hours tonight. We have our 2023 prediction show. We've been talking about this for a long time now. So we have it coming right up. And I think one of the coolest parts about this is we get to go over the 2022 predictions.
Yeah.
And see if 2022 had in store what we thought it was going to have 1 year ago. Yes, you are hearing an echo from Jenny's mic. We are trying the guest star thing that Twitch has come out with. And so far, everything sounds okay, but for some reason, it's not working with Medium Jenny Lee's stuff very well. So it might be back to the Discord for us.
I don't know. I don't even know what I could try.
It sounds better now.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
I don't know.
But it'll be okay.
You guys need to chill out about your predictions. It's okay.
Just for fun. Just for fun. Unless you have dreams of like being the next Nostradamus, then it's okay. Now, if you want to go, if you're going out on programs talking about how you're the seer of the future,
You're the predictions lady,
and you're like trying to sell books and stuff on it, then I think you're okay. No one's gonna get mad. No one's gonna get mad at you.
You guys like anxiety, your friends.
So I see that you're wearing your newest Witching Hours.
Yes.
merch.
I got my Witching Hours shirt for Christmas time. And Frost Giant has a Witching Hours hoodie.
The
and the
old
beanie.
hat on.
Yes.
So we're all decked out in Twitch merch after this holidays.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I guess we should go ahead and bring in our first guest, and we can go ahead and go through the news and all.
Please do.
So give me a second here, and we will bring in Charity.
Yay!
Oh, we're having the audio problem again. All right, I will. No, there we go.
Now I can hear you.
Yay!
I think it takes a few seconds because the same thing happened with Jenny. So we have Charity on for the
I think
first
we
part of
have
the
to
stream tonight.
we have to unmute it. Like you unmute it, but then we have to unmute it.
So
Yeah.
Priestess said, I think sometimes the host mic will pick up the guest audio. If it's everything is coming through my headset.
Yeah, he's got his headphones on. Hi, Priestess of Wonderland.
Right to me.
Do you have? You're not listening to the stream, are you?
I got my headphones on.
Yeah. It was happening when we were trying to set it up earlier, and I was like, but so far, Charity sounds great. So it's just, it's how technology works with media.
Yeah, I break things.
Just
And things just don't work.
and see, now it sounds great.
It's my electrifying personality.
I wonder if it's like a We'll see. Whatever. So I guess we'll get started the way we get all of our shows started, and we'll go over some of the news.
Yay.
So the first article tonight is headline, "Never seen anything like this. Mysterious lights in Wisconsin have UFO investigators' attention." And if you haven't kept up with this, then you haven't been paying real close attention, because this has been a pretty big story over the holidays.
I guess I wasn't paying attention.
A lot of UFO lights being seen in Wisconsin. So around the holidays, seeing lights just about everywhere you look is expected, but the ones some Wisconsinites saw speeding through the skies at the beginning of the month, "I've never seen anything like this," said Chris Novak of Buckwanago, Wisconsin. UFO investigators have been looking into what the bright white lights that several locals saw moving around the sky and wondering what they could be. Numerous publications have written about the sightings, including the Daily Mail, the New York Post. People, Novak even appeared on Tucker Carlson to share his experience. And here's what they saw. So around 6:40 on December 2nd, Novak and his wife and their 2 young children left their house to go to a holiday, kind of like a place where one of the houses gets lit up with a lot of light. They were going to check that out. And while on Interstate 43 northbound, his wife noticed something unusual in the sky. They explained it like a line of light that would pulse through the sky incredibly quick. There was no rhyme or reason for the way that it was moving. It would go from one horizontal line all the way to the other. It would move from southwest to northeast. Sometimes it would return in the opposite direction. It didn't have any sort of rhythmic cycle to it or anything like that, Novak said. The light would reemerge and race to the sky again and again for about 5 to 30 seconds and continue throughout the 20-mile drive. After exiting the interstate, he pulled into a church and captured video of it. So I'll have that up in probably by the end of the show tonight in the Witching Hours Discord. Well, there's a couple of videos and stuff from tonight's news. So he saw bluish, purplish hues in the sky, lots of lights. He said that the directions they were moving in the sky reminded him of like a Blue Angels show, that they were moving incredibly quick and incredibly erratic. But it wasn't just this Novak guy. It was being seen by residents all over this area. There was a daughter of an Army helicopter pilot who says that they watched the skies, the craziest thing they'd seen in their whole life. And she said, the daughter of the Army helicopter pilot, that it's definitely either something from outer space or something secret military. Witnesses say that lights didn't look like Starlink, spotlights, meteors, light shows. Novak has seen the Starlink satellites that were launched by Elon Musk SpaceX to provide satellite internet service and have been mistaken for UFO. This looked completely different, they said. And officials have come out and said that they think what they saw was a local famous Christmas light display.
OMG.
Responsible for several UFO sightings in Wisconsin. That was a columnist who investigates conspiracy theories.
Yeah, I bet they do.
From a distance.
And quiets them down.
Yeah. It was a Christmas light show. Oh, you're so full.
Yeah, naturally.
The problem they pointed out to this is that the show ends at 10:30. The lights turn off at 10:30 every night, and this sighting took place starting at 10:45. So once again, Kimberly from this article, the daughter of the Army helicopter pilot, said, "From where I was and what we saw, there's just no possible way that could be it. Between the distance and that, there was nothing coming from the ground. It was over our vehicle, shining down in front of our headlights. It was definitely coming from the sky downwards."
I kind of feel like a lot of what we see is stuff that we're doing. that we will probably never really know about.
Yeah.
Those are my thoughts about it now.
Next story, lake monster Ogopogo spotted by a dad and his son on a fishing trip in Canada. Ogopogo, a mysterious creature, was allegedly seen for the first time since the 19th century. Seen for the first time in the 19th century. It's been spotted several times. Witnesses describe a long serpentine creature with spikes that is about 2 meters in diameter and has a goat or horse-like head. A dad and his son claimed they filmed the ancient monster called Ogopogo while fishing in the town of Kelowna in British Columbia, Canada. Blake Newdorf was filming. That's Newdorf was filming the lake when his father noticed a black long figure slowly moving in the water. The stunned pair then started debating what the enigmatic object might be. The figure in the video was about 18 meters long. The encounter happened in July of 2018. They've had the video, but they didn't want to release it in fear that they would, they didn't want to cause, they were afraid they would get, bad publicity or whatever, but they decided to release it this year. So the video is going on, over 4 years old now. I can have that video up as well after. I'm going to check that out on podcast. Witching Hours podcast.
I like
Discord.
I like water monsters. They seem really cool to me.
Yeah, it seems like definitely like a Loch Ness monster.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard of Ogopogo. I don't know if anybody else in chat has heard of that. If we have any Canadians.
I think I have.
Ogopogo.
Probably.
The next article I have in here is just that the Mars rover captured the sound of a dust devil on Mars. I'll have the audio up for that later as well. I'll put the link in there. So you can hear the sound from a microphone of a little dust devil windstorm Mars, which I thought was just kind of interesting, especially when, like studying weather and it's pretty interesting. The next article is a widow believes a nursery cam captured her husband's spirit soothing the baby he never met. As the veil is thin. Nursery cam footage of a mom of two, Whitney Allen, gained over 3.2 million views, 385,000 likes, and nearly 8,000 comments when she uploaded the footage of her account. So her husband had passed away in April. Whitney's on-screen caption reads that her video, she saw a spirit soothing our baby over the camera, and she thinks it was her husband. I watched the video, and you definitely see like an orb kind of hovering right there as the baby's sleeping. So once again, here in a few minutes, I'll get that uploaded onto recording. You can check that video out. Was that a spirit there, or was it a fruit fly or a speck of dust? You guys can be the judge.
I think it was the dad.
Yeah, why not?
Oh, you can watch we have to watch the video first.
I mean, even if that particular instance was a fruit fly or a speck of dust, I'm sure that the dad has been there to watch over his baby.
Yeah. You said the veil is thin, referencing the veil believed by some to exist between the worlds, the living and the dead. Whitney's husband, Ryan, died at the age of 35 after suffering a severe reaction to a bee sting.
Oh my goodness.
His heart stopped for more than 20 minutes, resulting in a brain injury. In the 6 months following Ryan's injuries, the family endured numerous medical procedures, hospital transfer, rehab appointments, and then finally hospice. And when Ryan passed, he left behind his 3-year-old son, Jackson, and his wife of 8 years, who was expecting their second little. So definitely a sad situation there.
That's awful.
Maybe it was the father coming to visit his.
Sure it
I
was.
never got to meet there. So,
Yeah.
like I said, I'll have that posted up as the show goes along, and you guys check it out. All of these, I think everything in here today had something to go to look at.
Awesome. I'm excited to look at them.
That was the news.
Yay.
I haven't been keeping up with chat at all. Things. A linguist said she's doing good. Sometimes you echo, Ginny. Sometimes you don't. So technical.
Echo.
Yep, you're echoing.
I'm not.
Oh, and Lucy said the fruit flies are following her too. Fruit flies are following Lucy. So,
We had a lot of fruit flies in our house this fall.
however,
Yeah.
get rid of ants. It's one thing after another.
Yeah. Yellow jackets, ants, fruit flies, spiders, ladybugs.
Especially when you live in an old house. We live in an old house.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of
I guess
cracks.
summer, huh?
Yeah. Creepy crawlies. Just wait, Charity. Just wait. Charity just bought an old house. So she has these things to look forward to.
All right. So once again, that's the news. All right. So where do we want to go next? Do we want to get into last year's predictions?
I think that we should go over last year's predictions and see
Because we
how
had Charity
accurate
here.
we were. Yes, Charity was here
last year.
Yes. For
Yep.
2022 predictions.
Yeah. So these were the predictions that I wrote down from very short. I wrote down very short things from our conversation last year. So medium Jenny Lee, your predictions were COVID goes nowhere.
Correct.
There's going to be shortages of goods, even more so than they were then, and that's 100% correct.
Correct.
Bad weather increases. We're coming off some pretty historical weather. We've talked about this Friday in Medium Jenny Lee's chat, but it very rarely, I think it's like a once in every, like the cold that we just had in Virginia was about a once in 20 year kind of thing where we got down into single digits and below zero with the wind chill. That's not, it gets cold here, but it doesn't get that cold. People were having a hard time. Our houses here aren't built for that. I was talking to someone today about having to use like extra stuff to get the homes warm. In Buffalo, you have people who were stuck in their cars and died.
Oh my goodness.
Waiting for people to be able to rescue them off the interstate. It took 2 days.
That's terrible.
I know, without saying exactly where you are, Cherry, I know you guys seem to get hit pretty hard.
We froze. Yeah, we had some pipes freeze up. That's for sure.
Yeah. So I think we made it through well, I don't know. This hurricane season wasn't as bad as it could have been. I think they did have some big storms hit. But yeah, I would say that this has been a pretty...
Yeah, my sister's house got completely flooded in New Smyrna Beach, and I think that was the first time it ever got hit that bad. So I'd say that was
Wow.
bad. Yeah.
And then the final part that you said, Jenny, was the tower has to fall. Tower has to.
I still think the tower's falling.
I think we saw some serious tower action this past year that I did not expect.
Okay. So the next ones I have written down are from Charity. And I had two big things written down. One was that we were going to be transitioning into a better new way. A better new way.
I know I have.
Yeah, you have for sure.
I was talking about the year of the six, which is more material, and it's definitely been an improved year for me. But I don't know if that's everybody. I know some people that have actually come into some really, really positive changes this year. Quite a few people. So across the board, I don't know.
I think it's been a tumultuous year.
Yeah.
That has led to progress, but sometimes it's hard to see that progress when you're. Yeah, but I would agree with that. And I think we're still in the process of finding that new way.
Yes,
we are.
I think a lot of things are going to have a new way.
Yep.
Yeah.
like just going to the store almost has to find a new way, because I don't know if it's just like I mean, I know it's not, but like when we go to any kind of store, there's just not enough people to work there. They can't handle the customers who are coming in, and lines are long, and like,
well, look what just happened with the airlines this week.
Yeah. 2,000 flights, was it Southwest canceled?
Yeah.
I mean, people were stuck in the airports, and flight crews. I mean, I don't want to like call anybody out. This is just what I read from our article, is that like there were like flight crews that just didn't show. So I feel like we're maybe still in the process of whatever that new way is going to be, but I think there has to be one. And Charity, the last thing I had is that in April, so we recorded that in the very beginning of January, and April, things cheer up, things begin to.
I would say April got better. February tanked. March was bad. April, we did start to see a little, I think we started to see a little bit better news, but there was a rough there all over the whole world. And and it was,
I think things did tend to start turning into that new normal by the time spring and summer came. And I think that's what we're finding now. Like, what is the new normal, and how do we make that? How does the new normal work? Whatever that is. We have one from Salty Frog on here.
Oh, we did.
I don't know if Salty's in chat tonight.
I don't know if she is or not.
Salty said that they expected more surveillance, which I think probably for sure, and probably inevitable to a certain degree as technology begins to take over everything we do more and more.
I don't know. We got into that. There's more surveillance in our house. We always joke about it.
Well, tonight's the first night. Tonight's the first night we're trying out this gift star, and even then, it said that basically Twitch can look at the footage of you guys backstage, like nobody else can see it. But if Twitch wants to, they can see the backstage footage just to make sure, like for quality assurance. But it's like, why do you need to have access to that?
Information that would have been useful earlier. No, just kidding. I didn't do anything.
You got me picking my nose. Picking my nose.
Thanks for letting us know, Keisha. And so we haven't done that yet since Keisha, she said she's gonna be in and out. So if anybody else wants to mod, we could always use mods for this. So if anyone's interested in modding, especially all you Team Weird people.
Yeah,
all you weirdo people are always welcome to jump in there. So just let us know. So that's what I had for last year.
I think that everybody was pretty accurate.
Yeah. I think it was.
Sounds that way.
Yeah. So let's see what next year has in store.
Yes.
Charity, you start, my dear.
Okay, I have a few thoughts just because I was spending a little time looking into the astrology and the numerology of this year, and we got some big things going on. So this year is a 7. 7 is more of a spiritual number. 7 people decide to create a little bit more of the life they want. They create some boundaries. People want to transition in. You want to do less of the crap you don't want to do or have to do, and you really find out what's meaningful and important to you with the 7. So we say no to what we don't want so we can say yes to what we do. The beginning of the year, we start with some retrograde. So it's going to be a little internal, a little introspective, looking at last year, looking how this can be different. But by the end of January, we're out of all the retrogrades. So things start to move forward a little more, but we could get kind of introspective here in the next couple of weeks, just thinking about things. And with that number 7, it is a very spiritual number. There is a more natural connection between the universe and Earth, and we could be seeing even more of this kind of overall awakening that's been happening for, I would say, for a while. I mean, really going strong. So the thing that I found the most fun and exciting was I saw that Saturn goes into Pisces
Saturn takes a long time, about 2.5 years to go through each sign. So the cycles are very long. So it's about May, kind of middle of the year, Saturn's going to go into Pisces. The last time Saturn was in Pisces was like 93 to 96. Now for us Gen Xers, that was our time. And that's when we... Times, yeah. Yeah. Saturn is a serious, motivated, working planet, and Pisces is a dreamy, spiritual, kind of sign. And so Saturn gets in there and it gets all wishy-washy. And, in the 90s, we brought in flannels, greasy hair became the thing, And so let's see around the middle of the year, people kind of lightening up because Saturn has been in Aquarius, Capricorn, which has a lot to do with work, a lot to do with communication, a lot to do with finding these new ways. It gets into Pisces and people chill out a little bit. They want to spend a little more time doing their own thing. We could have a little 90s action, a little. You could see people just relaxing a little bit, chilling a little more. So I don't know, Saturn in Pisces, it hasn't come around since 93. And I think that could be fun. Jupiter's in Aries at the beginning of the year, so that'll get us really motivated before we all get lazy. So those are all the things that I saw specifically. I don't know if you guys want to pull cards or anything, but that's what I saw about the year for me.
That's awesome. So to piggyback on your 7, one of the things that I kind of picked up through my what was it? Clairsentience is the knowing, right?
Yes.
Was I felt like a lot more people were going to be turning to the spiritual, even more so, to try to find ways, because I think the general population is figuring out that healing is the thing, right? Healing is the way to fix not just ourselves, but each other and humanity. And I feel like the more that becomes like known and just like a given, like we have to do this in order to fix shit, then more and more people are going to turn to the spiritual. And that's one of the things that I picked up on for next year. Yeah, and it goes right with your 7.
That's perfect. Yeah. And that Saturn and
and the Saturn and Pisces. I love it.
Yeah,
Yay.
I think your reading, your prediction has a little bit to do with the one I'm going to do a little bit later. I think there was a lot of similarities. I definitely us moving that way. I think I kind of thought going into last year, not doing using any kind of oracle or anything. My gut feeling was that last year was going to be a transition year. But I really think that maybe we have the transition year coming up. That 2022 was the beginning, but it's 2023, I think. The transition. I'll get into that.
Yeah, I think we're still in that process. Yeah.
Boycat Loose. I'm predicting there will be more protests and fighting for equal rights in a multitude of areas. People be more vocal, and I have you down. You're on the official prediction list. So, well, it definitely has been going that way, but
I think that goes hand in hand with what Charity was saying about the 7 and the Saturn and Pisces too. It's like people wanting to have things done the way that they want it done instead of just following the herd,
We need deeper meaning.
I was gonna say, I think we could use some 90s energy.
Yeah.
Charity.
Fun to me. I'm in.
Well, as Agent Smith said, that was the pinnacle of human civilization, right?
Yeah. 1999 or whatever.
1998. The pinnacle of human civilization. I think.
I just remember we were like all punks because I was in late 80s teenager, and it was all blonde hair and acid wash jeans, and me and my friends were all punks. And then I walked in, I remember, to like a Pizza Hut, and there were all these kids in flannels with like long hair around a jukebox playing like Nirvana, and I was like, wait, there's more punks? I was like,
and like, you know, when I went to high school, it was like 4 out of maybe 500, you know, and then it was like everywhere. And then all of a sudden the shops open up in the mall, and everybody's got boots.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I had those boots. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good times. Good times.
All right. Yeah, we'll see.
So, Charity, other than your numerology and looking into the astrology, what do you feel about it personally? Anything different than what you looked into?
What do I feel about the year coming up? I do think, like, kind of what I was feeling, like people are going to go introspective and be doing a lot more independent things and wanting to really do things their own way. I think, you know, how you kind of talked about the weather this year. I feel like it's going to be quirky. I feel like we're going to see some quirky weather. I'm hoping it's not too crazy, but I felt like we saw a lot of that this year. It was like weird, warm, then cold, you know, and I think it's because the whole earth is kind of going through a transformation that we're in the process, and I think the earth is balancing out as we're balancing out, and I think we kind of feel those things. So
for sure.
Well, you know, just to look at the swing of things, last Christmas it was 69 degrees where we live. And you could go outside with a t-shirt. I went out last Christmas. I think one of our daughters got like something to do outside, like a bike or something. And so we were outside and it was like nice. I didn't even wear a hoodie or anything, you know? And then this Christmas, it was like single digits. So, I mean, that's a huge, and obviously weather can change. I'm not saying that it can't, but that's a huge change from 1 year to the next.
From 1 year to the next.
From 1 year to the next. And, you know, all you really get to see every day is your weather. I don't get to see the weather in New York and California and Indiana every day to know how weird it is everywhere. But I feel like there's just more of those dramatic swings happening. You know? So, for sure. So, Castle Cutie said tomorrow it's going to be 60 degrees there. Yeah, we got warm today. We got into the 50s today, didn't we?
I think it got up to 60.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was weird because it was 60 degrees, but we were driving, you know, around a lot today, and there was just ice still. Just ice everywhere. Like, but it was 60 degrees. I'm like, how is the ice still out?
Here too. I was walking to the store because it wasn't so bad, and there's like snow piled up.
Yeah. But it's warm out. Mother Nature is trolling.
Yeah.
So I wanted to share some of mine before Charity leaves us, because, you know, well, just because. So I did some meditating today, and I asked my guides, higher self, Divine Mother, and Great Spirit, that's why I wanted to say it before Charity leaves, what is in store for us for next year? These are the words that quickly came: discovery, connectedness, communication, and love.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
Yeah, that's good.
write that down. Let's just make it happen.
like the discovery part, I was like, ooh, what are we discovering?
Yeah.
Is it an inner discovery, or are we discovering like new things together? Probably both.
You know, I feel like this year specifically was a big turn towards spirituality. Now, you know, when you like learn a new word, you've never heard it before, and then once you hear that word once, you hear it everywhere. So I don't know if it's like that for me, but especially this year has been a deep dive for me in spirituality and learning tarot and just kind of taking a jump off the end of the pool there. And I feel like since that's happened this year, people at work, just all kinds of people I run into are talking about crystals and tarot cards, and I feel like there's almost a rebirth of a spiritual age that's happening. So maybe it has something to do with that discovery.
For sure.
I totally agree. I felt more of a sense of spiritual community because I've always been, we were spiritual, but I felt like this year I've had more people want to talk about it with me, and that's exciting.
Yeah.
Then so you're feeling some of that.
Which, that goes hand in hand with the connectedness and communication.
Yeah.
And linguists said people are discovering love. I agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think there's a move that way. I do.
Yeah. Unconditional love. She had to correct herself.
Yeah, unconditional love.
Okay, but wait, there's more. So then I asked, but wait, there's more. Then I asked, what challenges will we face? And of course, we have to have the other side of the coin here. So this was the words that came for what challenges are we going to face, which this might go with what Void Cat Loose was saying. Anger, frustration, hate, and bigotry. Specifically the word bigotry, which I think that we've been seeing more and more of just openly. So I guess don't expect that to go anywhere. So then I asked, how can we overcome this? And this is what I got. Keep an open mind and heart. Follow truth. And then they gave me the same shit we always get. Trust happiness. And guess what? Somebody say it in the chat. What was the last thing they said?
Look within.
Look within.
Boom. Lingo says boom.
No, it wasn't butts are funny, Luce. It was look within.
Butts are funny.
So keep an open mind and heart. Follow truth, which I think is the hard one. Trust happiness and look within.
Wow.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
They probably said that too. Butts are funny. They might have.
That was the next message.
Yeah. I was like, oh, look within, I got it. And then they were like, butts are funny. Yeah. Shit is hard and butts are funny. That's the important things to remember.
More humor in 2023. Let's laugh more.
Yes.
More.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of sadness since 2020, like things got a little serious, and I notice I'm not like laughing enough or watching enough funny stuff. So let's bring more humor. Let's just do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely raises the vibrations for sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. So
Yeah,
I
I
guess
think
that'll be my next merch. Butts are funny.
That's funny.
Okay. Frost Giant, do you want to talk about what you got today when you were doing your tarot cards?
Oh, my predictions?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did a poll not that long before we started tonight. I kind of waited to the end and I did 3 cards, as I almost always do. I got 4 cups, 8 of swords, and the chariot, and in that order.
Oh.
So that's what I was talking about earlier about that transition and about some movement, but I think it's going to happen later in the year. I think we're going to kind of continue 2023 the way 2022 has been going. We're going to have this kind of bored, restless, dissatisfied, kind of this resisting of change that's kind of been happening. I feel like we're moving towards a new way in a new world. All the stuff with working from home and like just the work shortage and all these kinds of things, I think I've kind of created like a dissatisfied kind of, I feel like people are restless. People want change. They were forced to change. And so now they're not afraid of it as much. And people become restless because of that. That's going to lead into the 8 of Swords, I think, which is feeling trapped, feeling restricted, kind of being in danger. And once this restlessness kind of turns into the actual feeling of being restricted, then we're going to move into the Chariot card, which is going to be that movement, directed ambition, victory, progress. And so hopefully going into hopefully earlier rather than later in the year, we move into that chariot phase where we're taking active movement into the next cycle here. So that's what my prediction for 2023 is. Starting off with more of the same. Things may be getting kind of bad where people are becoming really discontent, and then finally that being the thing that kind of pushes into the chariot.
That makes sense.
So, Charity, when was Saturn supposed to move into Pisces?
May.
May.
So,
Okay.
like
Yeah.
up that point.
Yeah.
It can
About halfway
challenging
through.
But it is that sense of like that Eight of Swords, that feeling, well, first Four of Cups feeling bored, and then that Eight of Swords feeling stuck, like I want to do what I want to do, you know, and then realizing you got to come out of that with the Chariot, and the Chariot is major arcana. So that's really powerful, positive energy coming from some kind of challenging energies. And it goes with the 7 too, because 7 can be a little structured, and it can do with saying no to the things that aren't working, feeling kind of stuck, and then breaking out and honoring yourself. So that goes along with everything. I feel like that sounds perfect.
Yeah, when I was listening to yours, I said that would work really well with what I had too. And it was kind of weird because my reading just kind of just said like, yeah, what you think is right. Like that was kind of how I thought what my gut feeling was for the year anyway. My only wonderment was if that's going to resonate with other people, because I think that one resonates a lot with me and what I have going on personally. So we'll see how that works out for the world. But yeah, I think, I'll take it as long as we get a chariot in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Forward movement. That's good. So,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I also wrote down in my personal thoughts that weren't specifically from like channeling information, was that we're moving into a calmer, more loving environment, and we'll see things shift a bit, and it will feel better than it has in a long time.
Oh, that sounds good. Yeah, that's chariot energy. I like that a lot.
Moving forward. So yeah, that goes right there with Frosty's tarot spread.
yeah, that's my prediction for what it's worth. The next Nostradamus.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting.
So let's see, to kind of reset for anyone who's joined since we started, tonight is the 2023 prediction show. We went over last year's predictions. We might kind of go over those a little bit later just to refresh them again. You're welcome to put any predictions you have into chat. Let us know if you have anything you want to say in there. We have Charity Janisse with us now. Make sure you go check out, I know a lot of Team Weird already has, but go check her out on Charity Janisse on YouTube. She has a outstanding channel where she does tarot, which has just been going crazy. Her channel's been going crazy. She's a super huge star.
She's got 12.6 thousand subscribers now.
So exciting. I feel so lucky.
It's amazing.
Messages this year, so that's going to be my new thing. So I'm excited to share those. More of that.
Those are my favorite, the animal card messages.
So I'm excited about that. So the people that aren't as interested in the love stuff, because we're not all in that place, will get some great spirit and animal messages, and it'll be really fun.
And I think we're going to be doing some more collaborative stuff this year together also.
Yeah, we definitely will be.
Yeah. Yay.
And then also you just announced, Medium Janelle, your second stream.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing Tuesdays, which I feel bad because I think Tuesdays is like one of Priestess of Wonderland's stream nights too. But so I feel bad like that there might be some competition there, but Tuesday was like the only night that would work. So anyway, I'll be on Tuesdays from 7:30 to 9:30.
Well, it just means you can do more collab streams.
Well, I was thinking that too, like variety stuff. So it might be art, might be gaming, might be, I think this coming week I've got some unboxing stuff. Like I got a new Oracle card deck. I got my daughter an Oracle card deck for Christmas. That's an Oracle card tarot for kids. So it's not an Oracle card. It's tarot for kids. So I was going to go through that, and it's just going to be whatever I feel like doing that week, which sounds really fun to me. So yay, more streams.
We're going to do
building up to being able to do it even more when school's over.
I have a new old Santa Claus brought me up. I have the runic tarot.
Yeah.
So I am going to do with Medium Janisse sometime soon on this channel. We're still trying to get the hours in on this channel, so maybe we could. I'll do an unboxing of that, and maybe some readings with the new tarot deck on.
I want to see the unboxing of that deck because I bought it for him and I want to see what it looks like. It's still wrapped in the plastic sitting by the fireplace. So like we gotta look at that. Yeah. Let's open it up now.
Yeah. Excellent.
Awesome.
So and our other guest tonight, we have YoErika, who I saw is in chat, but I think she's still doing her stream. And so when she's done with her stream, her and her misfits are going to come in here.
The misfits will be raiding, and then we're going to have YoErika come on. She did a really big, cool spread that she's really thinking globally, like all the different topics of what's going to be affecting us as a whole. And I'm excited to see what she has to say about it.
Nice.
Yeah. And then after that, we're going to have on Priestess Wonderland, and she's going to go over the moon stuff.
Yeah, we're going to do some lunar stuff. Thank you for the follow, Terra Mama.
Priestess Wonderland, look, I've been putting my tabs on all of the mood tracker pages. That's what I've been doing this week. Yay, moon stuff. So while we're waiting, we do have some predictions from viewers.
Yes.
They are mighty long. No joke. But let's see if we can peruse them.
Highly detailed.
Sylvie did not want me to read hers first because it's going to give her an ulcer. So let's go look at linguists. She pulled tarot cards specifically for Team Weird. So if you're part of the Team Weird crew, she looked into us specifically. What is the year going to be for us? So she got the Three of Wands in reverse. We're going to have opportunities, but we're going to be fearful and maybe not want to step out of our comfort zones. Then she got the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Vision from the previous card prevents us from taking opportunities because we find it difficult to organize ourselves and make up our minds. Might also be about self-doubt and learned helplessness. Oh, goodness. It's also calling us to be careful about our expenses, not to get in a financial trap. Then she got the Justice in reverse. Yeah, a lot of reversals here. As we prefer to listen to our fears, this card indicates that we'll be unable to see the big picture of what's happening. It's time. Our inner critic is there to hold us back, not to support us. And we miss the whole point of the catalyst. She's read the raw material too much. Going through the same situation over and over again, but with different people in different places. That's interesting because Frost Giant got a reading from Cosmic Unwind that said the same thing.
What about what specifically?
Like finding yourself in the same situation over and over again, but with different people in different places.
Yeah. Yeah. Specifically talking about like, yeah, especially right now, the grass isn't greener. Like things are just the way they are everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then she got the 5 of Swords, fighting with ourselves or others, or both, to try to prove her right. Or what will happen, but in the end, we aren't happy. Refuse to see the situation as trying to teach us. Even if we win an argument, we still lose. So linguist's got a lot of like personal conflict things going on so far. Then she got the Page of Swords. Despite our problems, we strive to learn and be successful. Agreed. We're all about that in Team Weird, that's for sure. We're not whiners and complainers. We're fighting. We're fighters. We have ideas that we could implement to achieve our goals. But until we accept what's happening in us, facing the difficulties, move forward, embrace the opportunities the universe is sending our way, take some time to explore new ideas. Don't be afraid to make an attempt. It's always better to try and regret than to never try at all. Very true.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what I'm going to do this year. Gonna do the shit, whether it works or not. Page of Wands. Calling us to give it a shot and try out our ideas to figure out what fits our needs. Help us start a new page in our lives. So this is so far kind of going with everything everybody else has said. At the beginning, there's a lot of internal going within, looking, trying to figure out what's not working. And then it kind of breaks through and we start to try new things.
Yeah. Yeah. And even in the beginning, there was a lot of, with some of the cards in the beginning, lots of like fear, lots of anxiety, lots of like stagnation. And then I'm seeing some kind of chariot energy.
Yeah. Yep. Then she got the 10 of Swords. It might be hard. At times we feel our spirit's broken or trying to make mistakes, but we need to pause our inner critic and assess the situation, understand why the decisions we've made brought us to where we are and how we can fix it. If you feel ashamed of yourself for making mistakes, forgive yourself and make room for improvement.
Yeah.
And then she said, I will quote the Divine Mother on this one. We judge ourselves when we judge others. Hell yeah, linguist.
Yeah.
When you're able to forgive yourself, you can forgive others. And that's when you'll be able to move on from the situations and leave you hurt emotionally and make you feel unworthy or not confident. Very nice, linguist.
Yeah, I think that's a good quote there. Judge ourselves when we judge others.
Yep.
Very true.
Then the last card that she got was the 6 of Cups. Demonstrates that despite all the hardships, we look for joy, trust happiness. She didn't put that in there. I said, and not fall into the trap of negative thinking. Oh, linguist. That's the rest of my predictions is right there. There are people who try to make us smile and feel supported and cared for. We need to take time to connect with them and realize that not only does life give us lessons, but also brings people in our environment who are there for us, who we can trust and make it easier for us to break the wall we're banging our heads onto. Trust the process and may the universe guide you. I know that Team Weird will always listen to you and like a family accept you for who you are, which is why I appreciate every single one of you for your contributions to make the world you make to this world. Much love to you all. Oh, linguist, I'm gonna cry.
Nice. Very
so
nice.
Sweet.
Very nice.
Awesome. Good job. I think it just all went hand in hand with everything everybody else said.
Yeah, I think we're getting a little bit of a.
It goes really nicely with that chariot energy and the.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I think to be able to take all of these together and kind of see how they work. no matter how you came about them. And you know, that's another thing of like whether you're going through like channeling or mediumship or tarot or planets, astrology, numbers, all of those things.
Wow.
Here she comes.
YoErika and all the misfits.
Yay, the misfits
Welcome in.
have arrived. The Cogatio thing is playing in my head right now, YoErika.
Yes.
Woo!
Welcome in, YoErika. You guys know who YoErika is. Make sure you go follow her on Twitch.
Only 2 minutes late. No problem. We just finished reading linguist predictions, so you're good.
Yeah.
It was perfect timing.
Yes.
And we'll have YoErika in here just a little bit. We'll let her. What is that? Who was it who came up with the thing of de-streaming?
It was YoErika.
Oh, was that YoErika? Okay.
Yeah. De-stream a little bit.
just for a few seconds.
Probably go pee or something and grab another iced coffee or whatever.
I have a beverage.
Do we have a follow thing set up yet?
For this one, I can see it. This is such a new.
There you go. Go follow your weapon. Hey, everybody. Oh, I'm so excited you guys are here. There's Luke and Rain Essex and Ghost Chills 3 a.m. and Sour Girl.
So I'm sure that for all the raiders, YoErika did a wonderful job of saying what was going on tonight. But just as a refresher, so this is the Witching Hours. We are a podcast / Twitch channel that talks about all things weird, UFOs, mediumship, ghosts, paranormal, Bigfoot, cryptids, anything that is worth talking about once you've had a couple too many late on a Saturday night. Those are the conversations I like to have, and so those are the conversations we do have here. Anything interesting and weird. And so that's what this podcast and channel is dedicated to. We usually do a couple episodes a month, hopefully more coming soon. And so if you miss the episode live on Twitch, we do put them up on podcasts, which you can find at Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, anywhere you find your podcast, you can find The Witching Hour. So go check it out. If you enjoy tonight's stream, like it, and all that kind of stuff. Are you going to be on screen or voice only? You can be on screen. Yeah, I'll invite you over to. I'll invite you over with guest star, and you should be able to pop on. We can make sure everything is good to go before I bring you over to the actual live.
And toss you to the wolves.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what the Witching Hours is, and that's what we're doing tonight. But tonight is a special Witching Hours because we're just doing, instead of like having. This is kind of a mix between what the Witching Hours normally is and kind of like what Medium Jenny Lee does in terms of getting together with some of the other people we have fun hanging out with or watching on Twitch. So Charity Janisse is a wonderful personal friend of ours who's, an awesome tarot reader. Go check her out at on YouTube at Charity Janisse. Do you want to put that link in there?
Yep, I'm on it.
And for tarot readings, love readings, and more coming on, she has a absolutely awesome YouTube channel. So go check her out. And she comes on and visits with us quite often. And then YoErika is, I really feel like the tarot channel just has like some people that we all like. We got the Misfits, and we got Team Spirit, and we have all these
Wonderland.
different people. But I think there's like a larger community kind of based around a lot of these, a lot of us. So we think it'd be really cool to like get more, interact more, and to do more streams and kind of bring all that together. So that's what we're kind of shooting for with tonight's show. We did a prediction stream last year, and so we went over some of those predictions. And so that's what tonight is. We make predictions, and then next year, when we're on the eve of 2024, we'll
come back and do it again. Yay.
So go hard with your predictions. If you have a prediction, go for it. As I said before, unless you're writing a book, you got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
No one's going to judge you.
No. We're all very.
But go
what's
hard.
the right word?
Because if you have like this really, if you have this really great prediction for 2023 and then it's an absolute shitstorm, people are going to come after you. So just go hard, and then when it ends up being a really good year, no one's going to care. No one's going to care.
Yeah, so throw in your own predictions in there. Let us know. Yay.
Awesome.
Well, I think YoErika is taking a little breather, and then we'll get her on here next.
All right.
So
well,
thank you, Charity, for coming
Charity.
on.
Always appreciate you having on. Let's do something else again. I know you always are busy and all that stuff, but let's find a time to do. Let's find something to do. I know you got a ton going on with your channel, but I always enjoy having you on. I always enjoy talking to you, and I don't get to talk to you as much. I always get to talk to you when we do these things.
Yeah.
Do it again soon.
I love it. A lot of fun. So yeah.
Excellent. Awesome.
3 cards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well, good night and have a wonderful, have a wonderful 2023. Congrats on everything, on your new home and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yep. New home and crazy blowing up YouTube channel that's only going to get bigger and bigger.
Bigger and bigger. Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, Charity, we love you.
Happy New Year.
See you guys later.
Okay. Okay. It says YoErika's getting ready and she's ready. I'm going to get her in. There we go.
She's in the backstage.
All right, YoErika, I'm getting ready to bring you in. It looks like you're good to go.
Yes. There she is.
And there we go.
In color.
Yay, how cool.
And we can hear her.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Oh my, hooking up the camera. Now I know how to hook up the camera. Thanks for your patience. Your call is important to us.
Welcome, YoErika.
Hi chat, hi friends. Thanks for having me. Thanks for being so patient, everybody. Sorry I didn't have the camera set up for this yet. But this is awesome. Now I'm ready to go.
I mean, we're all trying this guest star thing out for the first time, you know?
It's cool.
Yeah.
Once it's set up.
Yeah, well, that's what we're saying. Like, and it's like one of those things that it's like it's hard to practice it. Like, oh, we're gonna practice how guest star. It's like you can't do it until you have like the people ready to come in. So we already knew tonight was gonna be like, how do we do this for the future?
Yeah.
How do we do this for the future so we can make this stuff happen more often? Hanging out with cool people like YoErika.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure almost everyone in Team Weird and everyone who came over in the raid, and if you're in here, follow YoErika. But if you do not follow YoErika, go clicky and give a follow. A
really
totally rad
excuse.
Streamer.
Oh, thanks, friends.
We watch all the time.
Yay.
My voice isn't doubling by chance, right? Because I got voice meter, got a virtual audio mixer in here that likes to be problematic.
You
a little
fine
bit
to me.
It's not as bad as Medium Ginny Lee's.
Mine apparently is awful.
Yeah, you sound like Ginny sounds like she's AI. Yours is a little bit.
Good.
You know what? Let me do one thing with my mixer really quick because I know why I think you're hearing I don't know how to hear you all without let me check one thing really quick with this. Advanced audio properties, audio input capture. Can I do monitor only? Yes. Okay. Hopefully that helped. Maybe.
Yeah, I think we're okay.
Okay. Maybe it didn't do anything.
I can control volume and stuff on my side too, which is, I don't know. We're trying this out. We'll see how it goes. Like, we always use Discord before, just doing like a video call. And I would do all that through Streamlabs and everything. And it worked really well. But I was like, guest star, that'll be awesome because people can just pop in and pop out. And like, even people in chat can just, request to come on and stuff like that. This is our first time trying it, but I think so far we've had better audio, and the visual looks great. I think the audio quality was better through Discord. But either way, it's
microphone, hypersilica, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think you're good.
Okay. I was trying to see if there's something I can do on my end, but I'd have to sit there. Audio is one of the toughest things. If anybody out there is streaming or doesn't stream audio, oh my gosh.
That's like the hardest thing to get right. Mm-hmm. Like inside baseball for streaming. Audio is like key, and it's the hardest thing to do right, in my opinion. That and lighting.
Oh yeah, lighting's always my other one. But I know everybody's not here to hear about my audio issues, but how have the predictions been going?
Good.
This is my first time.
They've been great. Really cool because so far we've had numerology, astrology, channeled messages, tarot cards, and they've all kind of lined up with each other. Like there's the overarching theme of the year that is clearly coming through all the different things.
Ooh, I'm excited. Because I haven't, since I was streaming while you guys were on, I don't know anything yet. Oh, this is kind of nice going in blind.
Yeah.
Well, we'll leave you that way then, because I was going to go over some of them, but what we'll do is we'll let you go through yours, and then we'll kind of go over some of the other ones we did earlier.
Okay.
That way you're not like, you can just kind of give your thing. Are you ready for me to bring up? I have some images.
Yes, please.
All right. So I have both of them. Which one do you want to do first?
Well, I guess the black and white ones I did for 2022. I pulled 3 cards for 2022 just to kind of like, I'm just like the hugest skeptic of all of this. Like, is this real? Does this really work? So I have to I need to have like a baseline.
Excellent.
Okay.
So if you need those bigger, let me know, but I have them up.
Oh, that's perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
So I wanted to pull 3 cards, and I wanted to know kind of like overall what was 2022 like. Obviously we all know because we just lived it, but when I saw that first card, the Knight of Wands reversed, I don't know, for me, when I see that Knight of Wands reversed, I just feel like burnout. Like you're on this path, you're on this journey, and it's just like feeling a little burned out, and your flame's a little like, I'm still here, I'm still going, I'm not going to stop, but I'm just like freaking burnt out. Mm-hmm. And then I pulled the Strength card there in the center, which a lot of people probably know is a major arcana, a big lesson that we all learned this year, and we have been learning whether we want to or not. It's like how much more inner stamina and we have than we even realize. There's so many like tanks of energy and life and things that we're like, I can remember sitting back to 2020, like how I can't even imagine what 2020 is going to be like. How am I going to even do this? I'm so exhausted. And I just feel like that Strength card just really resonates. Finding the lesson we learned this year is how much inner strength and infinite possibilities there just are. And finding creative ways to get through these big hurdles. And like, you can see that line kind of represents that big hurdle that we all have. And doing it in like creative, crafty ways, because some of us might not have that physical strength or have all the resources, and just getting kind of scrappy about it. And I can't remember what the position I pulled for that third card was, but I remember seeing it and being like, it just like this like warm hug. Oh, this was the blessing, because I was like, the first card was like, what's the big pitfall? What was the lesson? And then the blessing was, I think there was like finally feeling more grounded, and this nurturing, this huge movement and talk about self-care, which has been so big for a long time now, but I think it's starting to really people are starting to like get into it more, feel the effects, and they know what it's like when they do their self-care now, and they know what it's like when they get back off the self-care wagon, which I kind of fluctuate between doing both. And I just felt like that card just looks like the mommy arm that's going around me and nourishing me. And for me, because I'm going to project all over this, it's finally like getting back a steady with some work, being more steady financially, and getting my health more steady, my mental health, my physical health. And I just felt like this, like, it felt like a more warm year, even though, gosh, it was a roller coaster this year. Don't get me wrong. But just, I keep comparing everything to the baseline, which is the great Panini 2020. So it made me feel good. And I wanted to do black and white since it's peace out 2022.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel all of that. And one of my prediction things that I was talking about was that I feel like people have really started to figure out that healing is the key, which is exactly what you just said. Like self-care is the thing that's going to help us, not just ourselves, but each other. And that's what we're going into, you know.
Oh yeah, maybe that's why that Queen of Pentacles nurturing us all, nurturing each other, because she's nurturing not just herself, but she's nurturing like all those around her, whether they're in her realm or not in her realm. She's one of those people you can go to for comfort, and finding those places of comfort, finding new places of comfort. We've never, like, Twitch was a place of comfort that I got starting in 2020. So
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Rad. Oh, thanks, Great Witch Sciatica.
Actually, look, I have to share this because you said the word like a whole bunch of times. I got this scratcher card from Priestess of Wonderland's Just a Phase Moon Planner, and it's comfort. That was the word that I got.
Oh.
And I've already decided that that's going to be my word for the year. I
want that to be my word for the year.
You can have it too. We can write comfort twice on your screen.
Yes. Oh,
you pick a color, I'll pick a color, and we'll have it on there twice.
Did Priestess of Wonderland make a new moon diary for 2023 and I just don't know it yet?
Yes.
Okay, I need to get that. She has a freaking scratcher in it. People
she bought scratchers for her what's it called? Here it is. I got it right here. I've been putting tabs in it. Getting ready.
Oh my god. Okay. Oh, because when I hit the link the last time I was in there, I got the 2022 one. I was like, oh, maybe the 2023 one isn't happening yet. Okay.
It is ready.
Wait, no, wait. Priestess of Wonderland says, no, wait.
The scratchers were for the Kickstarter, I think is what she's now waiting about.
Oh, yeah. I think I think that was interesting reading too, and that one of the things you were talking about in that middle card too, I think that we were discussing earlier is like this place that we're in where it's just like learning a new way of like having a, you know.
Yes.
Totally.
Everything's the same but different in a lot of ways. And so finding what that is. Yeah.
We
talked about that.
We talked about that earlier. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to axe that image.
Okay. Later.
We'll bring up your
goodbye.
You need a whole deck of scratch off cards. Priestess of Wonderland. Okay, I kind of pulled a lot of cards. I just wanted to know a lot of things.
I love all the different topics that you chose, though. I'm excited to see what they are.
That's where I was kind of like, I know how to do like in my mind a year ahead for one person. Then I'm like, Erica, you're doing a year ahead for the global. I'm like, okay. Okay, so the overall theme I thought was really interesting was we got the Queen of Swords right next to the King of Swords, Queen of Swords reverse right sitting next to the King of Swords upright. In my kind of overall, right? Yeah. And look how she's black and white and in reverse.
Weird.
I know, it just feels like the color's not in the room. But my kind of instant thought when I saw this was like that that tug of war that we've been doing with information and communication, and it's going back to the beginnings of 2020, probably even before then, where truth and lies, what's real, what's not real, what can we trust communication wise, because they're both, the king and queen are the leaders of their suit, and they're the leaders of intellect, communication, information, and it's just this tug of war between the two different leading parties of what can we really believe in. And I just feel like that theme might be continuing on into 2023. But I do like that at least the upright card is in color. I don't know. I'm going to do toxic silver linings. But I mean, I'm glad it's still at least a tug of war, and it's not just two reversals. I'm glad there's still that yin and yang, if there's going to be that right there, that trying to find the balance. At least it's still, and it's a fair match. It's a king and a queen. And then I want to know how do we adapt to that? How are we going to adapt to that? We got that 9 of Pentacles reversed next to the 2 of Cups. What I thought was interesting about that is that 9 of Pentacles for me is always kind of represents you really relying on yourself and really being this kind of independent person, in a sense, where you're able to create things on your own. You're able to do things on your own. And and it's not in a selfish way, but it's right next to a 2 of Cups. And it may be less, how do we adapt? I think it's about coming together with the people that you really do see eye to eye with, or you really do connect in more on a soul level, cups being water and that kind of spiritual side of us, and relationships. And it's connecting in with the emotions that we know resonate for us, and coming together instead of kind of standing on your own and being in your own mind. Because 9 of Pentacles reversed, that's for me kind of being in your own mind, in your own world. Upright, yes, you're still on your own, but when you're reversed, you're really in your own mind. So the way to adapt, I think, is coming together with those like-minded people and those relationships that have that even energy exchange.
The soul family.
The soul family, yes. Yeah. Oh, I like that. Then, of course, my biggest thing I want to know about was the financial markets. I was like, tell me. And I was like scared to pull. But overall energy, financial markets, we got the devil reversed, which I'm like, that makes sense. It tracks. Hell's yes. Meaning for me, it's starting to, those old ways, those old things that kept all of us, the people, down, starting to get challenged a little bit, and us finding our independence in a way. And these old corporations and structures and financial institutions that where we were just like slaves to, just like literally like the devil card. Because the devil card, if you don't know tarot, friends, it's like this card of bondage where us, the little people, are beholden to the devil. I mean, I don't have to explain the devil to people. I didn't grow up with Christianity, so sometimes I got to remember what the devil's about. And so I like that it's in reverse. We're starting to break those away. And then I wanted to know, okay, what do we need to know about that? And look, we got the 10 of Swords right next to it in the reverse too. And what similar cards where it's kind of like opening up our hearts, and the guts and the toxicities coming out of both of them. They look so similar. And I also like that the 10 of Swords is in reverse, because like the healing's beginning. Not only have we started to already kind of crush and take down some big things, and they're going to continue to fall, but we're starting to heal around it too, which is what you were just saying, Medium Jenny, about the healing and people really starting to realize that's the answer. And then the 10 of Wands, the burden, we can feel it, but we're so close to the finish line where we're going to feel alive again. And we all have been carrying that burden in so many ways, and it is a burden. But I think, the classic 10 of Wands, what can we let go of? What can we, so we can really be finished with this? And I think it really comes down to doing what you can do for yourself and not getting swept up in also the constant news cycle of all of the corruption that goes around these financial markets, because there are good people in place. Yes, there is a lot of bad, the devil-like people still out in the world running all these corporations and institutions and stuff, but there are some good people in place, and there has been some good work done, and that gets overshadowed a lot of times by the lower vibrational news cycles of things. So I'm hopeful that 10 of Wands makes me think, let go of some of those wands that you don't need to carry around. Basically, for me, the news cycles, whatever those ones are for you.
Hand in hand with what Charity said about the astrology for the year, which is that Sagittarius is going into Pisces in May. And the last time Sagittarius was, not Sagittarius, sorry, pardon me, Saturn. Yeah. Saturn is going into Pisces. And the last time Saturn was in Pisces was 1993 to 1996. Ooh. Which was like years of screw the authority. We're going to do our shit our own way. And that's exactly what you were just talking about.
And for financial markets, for good or for bad, coming out of it, the 90s was all go for the financial market in terms for financials. That's good too.
Yes. Those years were such the heyday of Gen X being all F the authority, F the establishment. We're going to do it our way. You call us the loser generation, like when Beck came out with that song Loser. Yeah. And Gen X was supposed to be these lazy effing losers. And no, we work hard too. I mean, I'm on the cusp, so I can't completely claim Gen X or millennial. But
Thank
yes.
you.
Oh,
we're the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just consider myself a Gen Xer. I'm like right on the border, so I just say I'm Gen X, and it makes it simple.
Yeah.
They always told me I wasn't. They always told me I wasn't Gen X as a kid, and I was waiting for my generation to get named, and then nobody ever named it, and then all of a sudden I wasn't a millennial, and I'm like, okay.
You got lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
It was like the ultimate Gen X thing. Like, not only were you were like, they forgot about Gen X, and then we were on the tail end. You even got even more forgotten about.
Yeah. They didn't know what to do with us. Well, I consider myself sometimes a boomer junior though today, because today I learned the way that you say you're ordering a pizza is I'm ordering a za. I had no idea.
Oh, is that what you're talking about?
I had no clue. No clue. Anyway. And then I did dare go into humanity and rights. I was just like, this has been a big one, which I'm so glad it has been, but also so glad it's a double-edged sword. I'm wish we didn't have to, but yes, we are here still. And I see the overall energy, humanity, rights, how are we treating each other on a giant global scale? I have the hanged person reversed. And I feel like when I saw this, I'm like, sounds about right. We know better on a lot of things. We've seen everybody. So when you get the hang person, friends, usually in the upright, you're hanging upside down. It's this big pause, kind of like 2020, where we pull the layer back and we're like, we don't have to get into all the civil rights issues of 2020 and all the movements, but remember all the movements that really got kicked off and big, and the Me Too movement, even just before that. And we all were on that pause, and we all got to see it. Well, we all got to see it, but still, we are still here. And a lot of the changes, we're still hanging here without maybe making the changes, because now it's in reverse. So we saw what we need to see. We have this new perspective. We have this new insight, but we're still just hanging here in kind of a paralyzed state, and not everything is changing. I don't have to get into all that. I want to try to keep it light, but we know some things went backwards this year and some things haven't changed, but at least we still have seen it, even though we might be in this paralyzed state. So how can we support ourselves in that? The next two cards I pulled in how to support ourselves in that. And I got that Page of Wands. And this for me was like, listen, you know what you need to do. You do your thing. You try to start fresh and you start new. Give yourself the grace. Don't bring that baggage from any of the past with that Page of Wands sitting there. And you keep yourself inspired, and you try to keep your energy up, and just keep putting one foot in front of the other. Because if we all make that change and we all go on our Page of Wands journey, it's going to change, because we do have so much passion for change. And then that Six of Cups reverse, it's kind of like not getting caught up. While we are making this change and moving forward, yes, we don't want to forget, but we also don't want to get stuck in all of the old injustices. And I really struggle with this myself. I work in a very male-dominated industry, and when the injustices come up in there, I can go down that spiral. So that card kind of reminds me of that, being aware of it, making the change, being upset, but not letting it totally take you down, not living in the injustice, but trying to move forward and doing the best you can. So that's kind of what I felt with the humanity and rights topic.
That's good, because we talked about that a little bit earlier. Void Cat Loose, that was her prediction she put in chat, was she sees more protests and fighting for equal rights in a multitude of areas this year, and that people once again are going to become more vocal. So that was very similar, I think. So we got a lot of correlations going on today.
And one of my channeled challenges that I got from all of the higher ups out there was that we were going to still be facing hate and bigotry.
That's that hang person reversed.
Yeah.
But like you said, we know it. We got to pull back the covers and found out there's still a lot of cockroaches. So what do we do with them? Well, get out the raid.
Get out the raid. I love that.
Raid. Look out, bitches. Look out the
You know what that
raid.
just made me think? That Page of Wands. Okay, it's been really nice being on Twitch, and then also professionally, I work with a lot of younger people and a lot of older people, but my title, I'm a production assistant. So a lot of the times I'm working with people who are younger than me in their early 20s a lot of the times, because I work an entry-level job. But you can't be, honestly, to survive in my job, you cannot be entry level. Let me just put that out there. Anywho, that Page of Wands reminds us of that young generation. I could cry. That's just like, they're so inspiring.
Oh, Erica.
And I
want to give you some hugs. I'm going to give you a hug through the
I recently thought it gives me hope. And I think that Page of Wands, it just, we have to give that younger generation, even like the kids that I don't work with who are teenagers, it just gives me so much hope. Like, they're so kind to each other. And sorry, I haven't cried on stream in a while.
It's okay,
I recently took Sour Girl on a job with me, and we had to I was shooting a NASCAR commercial, and I had Sour Girl come out and meet me. She just came out and met me. She wasn't working. And I said, you're going to meet some of the other production assistants I work with. So we had to go pick up these rental cars, and Sour Girl came along with us. So we have 3 of my PA friends in the back, Sour Girl with me, and we get into this kind of like driving to get rental cars, this kind of deep conversation. And this wasn't a conversation for my generation with just women, or like, see, my generation had been like women and maybe like a gay guy having these kind of emotional, deep conversations. It was like 2 cis white guys, straight heterosexual white guys, and one transgender male. Man, and it was just like, I go, Sour Girl, this is what I'm talking about. This younger generation, there's just something so special. They got this. It's gonna get better. They can do this. I mean, yes, us older Gen Xers and above can do it too, but it's really inspiring. And I know Sour Girl noticed that too. But anyways, that Page of Wands really reminded me of that.
Yeah, it's I noticed me and Medium Jenny Lee are both teachers.
So
we work
teachers.
So we get to work with young people a lot, and there is a lot of, every generation is different, and there's a lot of good things about this generation, and I think one of them is that they're way more tolerant of each other.
Yeah, like one of the biggest things that me and Frostshine always talk about is that when we were kids, the special needs students were always like tucked away, or kids made fun of them, or it was like, and that's one of my specialties, is that I have special needs kids that are in my art room, and the other kids, it's just like, I know, they would have never happened when we were in school. They're completely never even make a noise or a giggle or anything. If at the weirdest kid who does the weirdest stuff, like they never make fun of them.
They don't bat an eye at them. And like when I was in high school, it would have been like a huge thing. It would have been ridiculed.
Kids would have never let them live it down.
No.
But they don't do
and here they're actually you know,
They're
like you'll have kids
accepted,
who
they're
have
fine.
disabilities and they go through the hallways and the other
Everybody
kids are like
knows
giving them fist
them.
bumps.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
That's so
way
cool.
more of like, and so yeah, there's a lot of good things about this generation. So I can definitely see that kind of, you know, why you feel that way.
And just seeing the young generation here on Twitch, like, I know we don't discuss age, but you know, cultural references, you know, a general ballpark of where people kind of at, and it's just so bitchin' to see it all. And also to get back to you guys being teachers, doing that, your generation of teachers, even having that, holding that space so it can be like that. Our teachers back in the day, some of them, yes, probably could have held that space, but many wouldn't have, or wouldn't have had this, and not because they didn't want to. They didn't have the emotional upbringing and skills that we all are now getting to learn. I mean, the kids that everyone's talking openly in the back of my car about how they have a therapist. It was like, that would have never been talked about, like ever. But okay. Well, I have not cried on the stream probably all of 2022. Heck yeah, you got me right at the end.
Yay.
That really surprised me. And then I pulled a card for, I always want to know, like, what's going to be the artistic thing this year? Not necessarily a trend, but like cultural artistic stuff, like, you know, I don't know, like the Summer of Love 1969 had all this music and cultural big thing happenings, you know, and like I felt like 1992 to like 94 had all these big, huge kind of revolutionary, and it probably started before that with like Nirvana, the Nirvanas of the world and stuff. I kind of like, I don't know, I'm not trying to predict the next Nirvana or anything, but I just kind of want to know artistically, where are we going, what might happen? And I got, the Seven of Swords reversed. What is this card? I can't even see what I have. Oh, is this Three of Pentacles reversed? Oh, and Queen of Cups. So Seven of Swords reversed. When I first saw that, I just felt like it's like people kind of really re-strategizing and not selling themselves short and being like, you know what, I need to do this my way. I don't need to be doing things in the shadow. I can be out in the open, but finding new ways of doing things and new ways of communication. And that's what I kind of thought was interesting about that Three of Pentacles reversed. It's kind of like, you know, there's so much emphasis on making money and commodities and that kind of aspect. And I feel like there's been a lot of that kind of focus on art and what people have. And I know, oh gosh, I would love if it shifted, but like so much on social media about, look at Kim Kardashian's giant, extravagant Christmas. It's like, can that just go away? All right, it's so gross. Yeah. Like, and there's a place for that. And if you went and saw that and you clicked that on page 6, because that's where I literally go every morning is page 6, very low vibrational. I did not click that one. But if you did, no shame in your game. It's interesting. I get it. But I hope there's a focus that goes away from the wealth and the money that goes around creating things. And then that's what's kind of cool about seeing, is it the Queen there or the King? I can't see. I think it's Queen, the Queen of Cups, going back in to the magic of it and not piecing things together and not worrying about these like collaborations that are going to make money or build this or build that. And it's just doing it for art and finding more. I feel like that Queen of Cups, hopefully there's going to be a new leader in this artistic world that it's coming up and out that's more about the art and the magic and not necessarily about like how much money you have and are you wearing this label? What are all of the things you're wearing kind of thing, like in a monetary way, not that flossy kind of art, but maybe just art to be art. I mean, I would love if like some more folky hippie stuff came out, of course, but I don't think that's going there. But there could be with that Queen of Cups. That Queen of Cups can represent any gender, any person, any non-gender. And it's just this like artful, colorful person who's just doing them. So it's like that Seven of Swords kind of throwing out the old rule book, you doing it your way, not selling yourself short, moving away from that, the finances or the money or the wealth behind it all, and just the cool art people doing cool art. Kind of like when you go, I live in Los Angeles, so a lot of people are just trying to be famous, some around that a lot. But like when you go see music in a city like Austin, Texas, or Seattle, people just making art and making music just to make music and make art. And I'm really hoping that Queen of Cups can represent that kind of movement and maybe a leader from that movement coming forward. And it's not about what you wore to the Met Ball.
I think it's really interesting that all of your categories have the same message. It's all like, we're tired of the way things have been done and we're going to do it a new way.
Ooh, I like. Oh, thank you for saying that.
They're all that. They're all like that. The finances, the humanity, and the art have all been the same.
I feel like the especially the art one specifically, I feel like that's been a cart that needs to be like overturned for a while.
Yeah.
Like someone needs to upset that cart. That was one of the things I've taught, and I talk about with some of my students and stuff, is like we've had this period of like unrest and like social change, and I'm like, I don't hear that reflected. I don't see that reflected in art, and I don't see that reflected in music. And I'm like, but I don't listen to you all's music. So I was like, you disagree with me? Is the music I'm not listening to? They're like, no, it's not. We don't know why, but there's really not a whole lot of that like going on in our music and stuff like that. And I'm like, I've been waiting to see if they have their own Rage Against the Machine or whatever, you know? Like,
yes. Oh, that would be so awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. Boy Cat Lou said it, 70s and 90s, to create this perfect awakening when musicians and artists of all type use their platform for the change. Like from John Lennon, Give Peace a Chance, to, like you were just saying, Rage Against the Machine, where people were really using their platform.
Yeah. And I'm from the hometown of Guar, which was just all about throwing everything into the establishment's faces. So that was the Richmond, Virginia kids.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so rad. Gina the Frost, what subject do you teach?
History.
Oh, that's so bitchin'. RuPaul says you got to teach the children. That's a good one. He'd be happy.
Yeah.
What do we need to, okay. And then I was just like, okay, fine. I want more answers. What do we need overall? Just tell me, give me answers, please. That's how I speak to my spirit guides.
Ralph, what do we need to know?
Ralph is my spirit guide. I did not name him. I asked him, you mean Raphael, Rafalo? And he said, no, it's Ralph. And I was like, of course my spirit guide name is Ralph.
I love it.
I've just always been trying to be cool my whole life and like smooth and grace with ease. And I'm just kind of clunky and quirky. And my spirit guide is speaking my language. Yeah, he picked a name that I would recognize. Yeah, I was in a group meditation where you're going to meet your spirit guides. I'll tell you all real quick. I was in a group meditation where you're going to meet your spirit guides here in Los Angeles. It's a store called The Green Man. Such an epic shop if anybody ever gets out to Los Angeles. It's technically in North Hollywood. I told my best friend, who like just will believe and is just like not a skeptic at all. And bless her heart, that's great. So I told her, we're going to go do a guided meditation when we meet our spirit guides. She goes, oh my gosh, I'm going to get to meet my spirit guides? And I'm like, girl, well, let's just see if it works. And she's just like, you told me I'm meeting my spirit guides. The classes I'm going to. I'm like, okay, fine. So everybody, and we're like a room full of 25 people. Everyone's meeting like a lot of Archangel Michael people are like, and the teacher's like, your spirit guide's not Archangel Michael. And everyone's like, yes, he is. And then so everyone's got like these cool elaborate names, or it's freaking Archangel Michael. And then my best friend met Christopher. And then it gets to me, I'm like the last to share. And I'm like, my spirit guide, I tell them like what I saw, and I go, his name's Ralph. I'm like the only one in there with this like kind of quirky, this character from Happy Days, and he had curly red hair. Like, yeah. And Michael works for everyone. That's what the teacher kept saying.
But that's awesome though, because it's like, it's something that's real, that was real to you, you know, because you know that wasn't like what you were, you know.
Mine is also
like
my
genuine.
higher self, and she's also my most recent past life, and she's a grouchy old bitch named Louise. So I'm right there with you on the Ralph.
I love that. I love that. Gina the Frost, he picked a name, or the entity picked a name where it's like, tell me something only I know about myself kind of name.
Yeah.
You know, where like you go, like, you know how like in time and like time warp movies, like you, like the younger you goes and meets the older you, and then like one of them doesn't believe, the other one they're trying to convince. They're like, okay, remember the time this and that, only you would know that. That's what Ralph did.
So it's like validation for you.
Yes,
Right?
validation.
Yeah.
That's the word.
Yeah.
Long story short, it's validation. Cosmic Carly, linguist. Alf. Yes, he is kind of quirky like Alf too. Okay, so what do we need to know overall? Come on, tell me. I need clear answers, please. 7 of Pentacles. Then it was, 6 of Swords reversed. I love a 6 of Swords reversed, meaning, the pain's almost over. We're almost on the other side, please. 5 of Cups. Okay. So overall, what we need to know, this is a year, 7 of Pentacles, for us to really kind of sit and take a moment, take that step back. We probably have more resources than we realize. I always say this on stream, we're a year older, we're 5 years older, we have more knowledge than we probably even remember. You know, it's kind of like when your friend reminds you of something that you didn't remember and they're like, yeah, remember you did that cool thing? You're like, oh yeah, that's like your inner strengths that you forget about. So for me, that 7 of Pentacles, I love this card in the tarot deck. It's normally this farmer kind of stepping back at their crops that they just grew. And it's like, how do I want to grow these crops? What do I want to do? And I feel like that's a lot of us, if we can take the time this year to figure out, you know, we had 2020 down where we had a lot of time to think about what we want in life, what we don't want in life. And now we've had about 2 years, you know, where I feel like a lot of us are playing catch up and like on the Knight of Swords horse. But maybe now if we can take a moment and be all, okay, I've gotten a little bit of traction going back IRL, but what is it? How do I want to put all these different pieces? And what are the pieces I forgot about? But taking that moment to step back to do that. And then while you're doing that, you know, this year, while it is getting better and we do have that opportunity to step back and do that 7 of Pentacles, you know, there's still the healing's happening. And I feel like that 6 of Swords reverse, I do feel like we're getting closer to the other side of a really long, hard battle of so many. But it's also, for me, sometimes when you get that 6 of Swords reverse, you may already be to the other side. And it's just us still processing the trauma. It's kind of like the shadow of the last 2 years, 3 years that is kind of weighing over us. And that kind of leads us to 5 of Cups. And it's like, 5 of Cups, traditionally, friends, it's a person who's their head's sunken low and they see 3 cups that have spilt over and there's like, is blood pouring out. But behind them are 2 cups. So while the last 3 years, those 3 cups that we've just gotten through, you know, there is a lot of loss and a lot of things. If we can shift and not get caught up, yes, heal from it, don't avoid it. But if you can kind of sometimes shift yourself out of going down that spiral of what those 3 last years were and how your life's changed, not for the good, or everything that's been lost and all the trauma the world's been suffering, there's 2 cups behind us where we can still drink from and we can still move forward from. So I feel like these 3 cards overall, it's kind of that mixed bag of really us taking the time, healing, but also we're not out of the woods, but we are out of the woods. You know what I mean? Like, oh God, it's so hard to explain sometimes.
That 5, the way you explain the 5 of Cups is perfect, because
I think so.
Even when you explaining what the traditional one looks like, it's 3 cups that have fallen over, and it's 3 years that we've been dealing with this.
Yeah.
Like, how perfect is that? Yeah.
I know that lined up good for me, didn't it?
Yeah.
But I think it's like also a lot of this year, I felt like I kept saying, you know, a lot of this, we're just back. Okay, we're back. It's over. And it's like, there's a lot of things we're processing. And I think that's probably why that 6 of Swords reverse is in the reverse. So y'all, 6 of Swords, you can kind of see it's 2 people. It's usually 3 people in a boat, and it's someone helping you get across. And there's just like there's a tad of rough waters, but it's all calm waters and this beautiful island ahead. And I feel like even though it's all over, we're back. You know, we're still feeling that we're in the boat and that But I think it's just honoring that there is a lot that we're processing, and giving yourself the patience and grace to integrate all the new things you know, and to let go of all the things that left behind. It's still going to be this kind of processing and healing phase, like you were saying at the top of the reading, medium Jenny Lee. Like, healing is the answer, and people are learning that and realizing that.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
I think that your
friend.
spread was fantastic. And there's so many things that tied into itself throughout everything, and things that tied into what we've said throughout the whole stream, like from all the different predictions.
I really like the way that you laid it out too, like covering like the different areas. Like that was so in depth. So it's really unique to look at like all the different areas specifically. So that was really cool.
Oh, thank you. That was, I was a little nervous doing my first predictions 2023. I know you all said just to have fun, but I'm like, oh my gosh.
I got this idea. Well, everyone in here has heard this before, but the whole idea for this show came from back in the day. I used to always listen to someone who wasn't that far from you, Art Bell, who was did Coast to Coast AM. Did you ever listen to that?
Yes.
Yeah, I used to love it. I used to listen to it all night. And so this is kind of like what inspired me to do me and Jenny Lee to do the Witching Hours. But he would have a show like this where people would just call in and give predictions for the new year, and then they would keep a tally of it. And kind of and they would go back the next year and go over all the predictions they got to see, what happened.
How rad.
He would have like a big guest on who was supposed to be like, who wrote books, who were like,
oh my gosh.
And they would put them to the test too. But for us, it's just like let's see what everyone's gut's kind of telling them. Yeah. That's been fun. And then we'll go back this time next year. We'll have it all written down.
Yeah.
And we'll go.
Ooh, I'm excited. Hell yeah. Okay, well, I already know what I'm doing next year at this time.
I can look at it again. Yeah.
Right on.
And I think we see a lot of synchronicity so far with a lot of the readings tonight, which
actually, I was going to say one of the things that I channeled through, I said, how can we overcome this? And one of the things was follow truth. And that was part of your financial cards,
Ooh.
all of the crap that we're getting told that isn't true. Like, we need to really take a closer look and see what is the truth. We need to follow the truth instead of the garbage that we're being fed.
I know.
We have to figure it out.
Yeah, we got to figure it out. Yep.
I feel like everyone's kind of blindfolded right now to a certain degree. Even after this is all done, it's like, we know there's a direction we're trying to get there. And so I didn't want to give you my prediction earlier because I wanted you to be able to do yours without having insight. But I just drew 3 and I got the 4 of Cups. So it's kind of like this. So for me, it's like the beginning of the year is going to be kind of like bored, restless, dissatisfied. Moving into the next part of the year is going to be the 8 of Swords. So like this feeling of being restricted and trapped. But then the last card I pulled for the year was the Chariot.
Oh,
yeah.
Let's go.
And
when Saturn goes into Pisces, here comes the Chariot.
And I saw a lot of similar energy with your readings too, of like, we're having to figure this out. And that's what Charity was saying a lot too. It's going to be a year. I thought last year was going to be the transition year, but I think from what we're coming out of, there just wasn't a transition year. There's kind of a transition years.
We're still transitioning.
Oh my gosh, totally.
Yeah.
So.
And what's interesting about that Chariot? In the traditional like Rider-Waite-Smith deck, behind the Chariot is like the old way of living, the old society that you're like, peace, I'm going to go do my own.
Yeah.
And like us moving away from those old financial institutions, those old ways of thinking and it's kind of like that walled in city where it's just like nothing really gets out, nothing really changes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can just see it here tonight. You said you started streaming in 2020.
Yes.
And we started streaming.
Oh no, 2021. Wait, when did I start streaming? No, I started watching Twitch on 2020.
Okay, but still, like, I think everyone. I mean, that's 3 of us just that are in the room right now. People in chat too. But like, I think not just necessarily Twitch, but I think everyone's trying to find like a new way. Like, we realize that there's just more possible than what we did before.
What we've been told that we had to do.
Yeah.
100.
Yeah. Like in a lot of ways, I've always been, I'm willing to listen to all the conspiracy theories, but I think people realize that they were part of a system. And so people are trying to figure out how either how they can make the system work for them or how they can just create a whole new system.
Yep.
You know, so I think there's a lot of that going around. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm right there with you on that.
Let's do it.
Yes, I will. For my secret behind.
I'm so stoked that you all do this. This is super cool.
We're so excited to have you on. We think you and Luke are the bee's knees.
Oh so my goodness.
We're glad to have you on here.
I can't wait to tell Luke that you all have been together since 1996.
Yeah. 1996.
Luke was like, are they like a newer couple? Is that why I don't know? And I'm like, no, like they're like full adults with children. Yeah. I know like Luke and I are full adults, but the fact that we don't have children, I don't feel like a fully realized adult. I'm like, no, they're like pretty like real. Like, because Luke and I aren't even married. I mean, we've been together 15 years and we're not even adults enough to be married yet. Wow. I'm still waiting to grow up still.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's all kinds of ways to do it.
Yeah, I want to talk to Luke more because that's what I did back in the day too. I used to play in bands.
Yeah, toured around
and stuff like that. So I'm sure we could have some fun conversations going back and forth about the old days. Why
do I want to guess drummer or bass player?
I was a vocalist.
Lead singer, guitar,
yeah,
what?
Singer. Yeah.
Oh, hells yeah. You just seem so like foundational. Like you could just carry the whole band back there. It's just like this like steadiness. Well, that's what the lead singer's doing.
I'm the
too.
one who kept everybody together, like socially, like from like wanting to beat each other's brains out. Yeah. As you know, bands can get pretty hard to keep together, and so that's what I was good at.
Men like to say that women are catty and full of drama.
Oh,
but you get in a group full of band members that are all dudes. Oh, you see some cattiness happen.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Well, that would be rad. Yeah, our house is wired to be like a recording studio, like going through the attic. Going into the garage, going into the extra bedroom so people can come and record and stuff.
Wow.
We don't have a lot of equipment or anything, but he's got mics wired through the house. And then when I finally moved in, I said, we need certain hours for people just coming over to make music.
Yeah. Not at all hours.
Yeah, because it used to be at all hours. And I'm like, I really have to go to work tomorrow. Y'all, you musicians and artists.
That's fun, though. That's fun, though.
It's fun. It's a good lifestyle. Keeps us young, and Twitch keeps us young. But I'm just so curious. What do you guys have coming up for 2023 with the witching hours, like podcast? Anything that we can know about yet?
Well, we've had a guest that was supposed to come on in December. She was on with us before. Her name's Vicky. She's one of my fellow mediums, and she got to go to the spiritualist woo-woo town of Lilydale, and she's going to come on and share her experiences of becoming a spiritualist at Lilydale. And then I think we're going to have our friend Joe back on, which he came on last year and talked about real vampires of New England. So I'm sure he'll have some other really crazy stuff for us to talk about. And we were just talking about Ghost Chills 3 a.m.
I was in your stream
dolls. Earlier.
And I was like, man, I would love to hear about these dolls. But I don't want to I'm not going to poach somebody in your chat, but I was like, I'm not asking Erica. Because that sounds
Ghost
interesting.
Chills streams. And Ghost Chills also streams.
Awesome.
Yeah, please connect with her.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're just always kind of looking for people like that. And so anybody, like I said, we're down to talk about anyway. If anyone, one thing we haven't really done a stream on that I would like to get done this year, I guess you could say if it were like a New Year's resolution, is to have someone on to talk about UFOs.
And I want to have somebody on about cryptids and Bigfoot.
Yes.
Ooh. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, Luke has a friend who at parties, if he has a cocktail, will talk about when he got abducted.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, he also works in the entertainment industry, so he might have some good stories. Ooh. I don't know.
If he's willing to come on, send him our way.
I should ask Luke.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And Luke's like, I don't know. Because, Luke's a true blue. Like, Luke just kind of is just this dude that's just, he doesn't really worry about things. So he's like, I don't know. I'm like, he got abducted by aliens. Okay, I don't that freaks me out. Like, I don't know if I want to know. Like, I'm totally I grew up in the desert. Like, that's real. Luke just grew up in Santa Barbara. I guess he didn't see enough. I don't know.
Have you seen a UFO?
I have not. But growing up in Las Vegas, everybody has a story about being out on a highway. And, I even feel like some of my relatives back in South Dakota out in like the farm flat plains I feel like they had stories too. It's always like these open spaces. But have you all seen a UFO?
Frostgiant has.
I saw a UFO.
Oh. And how did it make you feel?
I was working, I was right out of high school, and I was working overnight as a security guard in Richmond, Virginia. And I worked at the newspaper there, Richmond Times-Dispatch, as a security guard. So I'd drive around at night listening to Coast to Coast AM. And then I would have to go check like all these different buildings that the newspaper owned. And so there was a new guy one night, and I had to train him. So when you did your rounds as a security guard, you had like this little wand you held in your hand, and there would be like little chips. And you would have to press the wand against the chips, and then it would show that you were there. So they could see, yes,
copy.
Our security guard was there, and he checked that room or whatever. So normally there was a rooftop that I had to go out on. And now normally at night, I would have opened the door, reached around the edge of the door, hit the chip, and not gone out on the roof. Just hit the chip, close the door, and left. That's just,
great security.
Just being honest.
Yeah.
So because you had to do it all in a certain amount of time, so you had to hustle.
Yeah.
Like they made it where if you took too long, so anyway, that's why. But since I had a new guy with me that night, we went out onto the roof, and I showed him exactly what we were supposed to do. And I looked up into the sky, and this is in the city in the summertime. And there was like a blue boomerang shaped like flame, it looked like a blue flame almost, but it was boomerang shaped. But it was just hovering in the sky. And it stayed long enough that I looked over at the new guy, and he looked at me, and I could see that he saw it as well. And then I looked into the sky, and it was just sitting still. And then all of a sudden, in a flash of an eye, it just took off like crazy and was gone. And we didn't even talk about it. I just said, did you see that? And he was like, yeah. And then we just went on, because it was almost like there was just nothing else you could say.
Holy Toledo.
But it's always been weird, because I didn't see a flying saucer. I didn't see a silver disc. It very much could have been explained as being like a meteor, especially since it had that flame color, except that I could see it hovering in the sky.
I was sitting still, yeah.
And then it took off. So it was definitely unexplained. Definitely was unexplained to me.
My mom saw something she can't explain. Her and my dad were out in Palm Springs, and she saw something, and she was so spooked by this that she didn't tell anybody for days, not even him, because he didn't see it.
Oh, wow.
And she's not an overly emotional person. She can pretty much be pretty stoic, and she's like, I have to tell you something. And I saw that she's now in Los Angeles with me. She's like, I have to tell you something. And I'm like, okay. I could tell something was really wrong, and for her to kind of go there, I was like, oh damn, what's happening? And she's like, I saw something. I don't want you to think I'm crazy. She was kind of shaking. She may have been tearing up, because I remember her being emotional. And she tells me this story, and I go, Mom, I'll believe whatever you tell me. Just tell me. I'm not going to judge you. And so they're out at Palm Springs. And if you've never been to Palm Springs, friends, there's not very high buildings in Palm Springs. Palm Springs is the desert just outside of Los Angeles. And it's usually the highest building around you might be 3 stories. So they were staying in some hotel, motel thing, about 3 stories high, mid-century modern kind of thing. And they're sitting out at this hotel, and they have group, community fire pits you can go sit around. So she's sitting out there with my dad and this other couple that she didn't know. And they were just kind of having wine. And everyone's talking, and nobody notices but her. This thing, you couldn't hear it fly, but she sees it because she saw the reflection of the fire on it when she looked up right above them, like right above the rooftop of the building. It was probably a 2-story building. There's not a lot of it's low buildings. And she said it was so close and I could see it. She goes, I went paralyzed. My blood went cold. I couldn't move. Didn't know if I should say anything. I was so scared. I didn't want to bring attention to it. But she was, and it just was drifting right there. She was this huge flat panel of a thing. And she could kind of see the fireplace, the fire up on it. That's what caught her eye. And then it slowly just moved away. And then took off with no noise. Wow. Now, I don't come from a spiritual or religious family. They just kind of like are. So, and they're not against it either. They're just kind of like halukas. It's just not on their radar. Mm-hmm. And so, they want to kind of be like, and her friend, she has a good friend that used to work in the military and was high up and knows all these like classified things that we don't know. But so she called her friend, and her friend's like, "There's a lot you don't know about the military. There's a lot of craft that's top secret." Blah 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 blah. And even her friend was like, "Yeah, I don't know what that is." So then it really freaked out my mom. Yeah. And so my mom was scared in the room, telling me as if like I'm gonna call them galactic beings out of respect, because I was told in LA that we're not supposed to call them aliens anymore. I don't know. It's an LA thing probably. But I was like, I felt like her fear in that room was like, if she talked too loud, the galactic beings were going to hear her and come down and get us. Cause like she was so spooked and was walking around for like a good 5 days with this story. Oh, baby. I'm so glad I wasn't there. It's a real fear for me.
Wow.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Poor mama.
There's a I don't know how many people here. There's another stream. What stream is it? I always ask, if you had the chance to go up into a spaceship, like you had a choice, A or B, yes or no, would you go? Would you take that? Oh, Air Brandy. That's who I used to ask. And a lot of people, I was surprised how many people were like, yes, I would go. Yeah. Like, that's a big hell's no for me. You would go?
Yeah,
of course.
I think that's 100% for me.
Oh. There's a lot of yeses in the chat, but Great Witch Sciatica said
it's a huge nope.
Nope.
There's a movie about that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. I feel like those are the questions. Like those are the questions I have to know the answer to. Like,
yeah.
I feel like. I don't want to get over dramatic, but it's like sometimes like I'm not so much afraid of death as I am of dying and not finding the answers to my questions.
So, that's interesting.
So like for me, that's like one of those things of like, if I had the opportunity to know that aliens existed and to see like alien technology, I think I would have to take. We both couldn't go though, Medium Jenny Lee, because one of us has to stay behind. So
rock, paper, scissors.
I mean, I was just thinking it'd be a quick trip. Like I wouldn't say, I was like, they're not.
Well, you don't know. Forever. You don't know though. Are they gonna?
That's true. Yeah.
You don't know what's gonna happen. Right?
And would you guys be comfortable taking your kids?
No. I would.
That depends.
That depends. Yeah. If you knew it was like,
it was okay. Yeah.
I can't psychically communicate with them before I go, or maybe Medium Jenny Lee can.
Yeah, we need waivers, please.
Yeah. There will be
Oh my goodness.
No anal probes.
I have one more question for y'all, but I don't know if you're needing to go.
No,
we do have Priestess of Wonderland coming on, but go ahead and ask the question. Yes. Okay,
my last question. So were you all both into the metaphysical space, or did that grow together? Like my partner, I've got him to start to really see like patterns in the tarot, but is he ever going to really be in my space? Probably not, which is totally fine. But he doesn't say it's not true. But you both are like, you're in it. Like Luke's got a toe touching the circle. Were you both into this and had abilities, or one helped? I don't know. Or did it grow together? Like, I'm so curious.
Well, the very first time we ever really hung out, I took him to a cemetery, like in the backyard of a spooky part of our neighborhood. So I think I was already talking about past lives or something. So he knew what he was getting into.
God, I love
and
that.
I was
That's
like,
the first date.
I was like, you know, I was always like nerdy into like D&D and so I was kind of into the questions of that stuff already, which is still kind of the way I am now. So when I stream and I do tarot, I don't claim to be the world's greatest tarot reader. Like I come at it kind of from a skeptical point of view in terms of like, I'm not trying to be like, you know, I'm just honest that I'm learning and I don't know everything. And like, hey, this stuff's, and that's exactly how I got started with tarot. I was like, I got a deck and I was like, well, let's see how this works. And the first reading went really well. And the second reading went really well. And then by the third reading, I was like, man, this might be something that's going on here. And still to this day, I keep expecting to just completely bomb a reading. But every time I do one for somebody, they're like, oh, thank you. That was really good. Like that helped me a lot. And it's like, okay, so I've started getting more spiritual, I think. And I've started getting more into it. But I did come to it from a skeptical point of view, but I've always been into it. It's the same way with like all the stuff we talked about, like with Coast to Coast, like Bigfoot, and like I want to talk about it, I want to learn about it, I want to go. And now, do I 100% believe in all of it? I don't know.
Yeah,
but it's worth talking about. Yeah,
gosh, I know. I want to go on a road trip, finding all of the things and seeing all the things, and just going to the spots and just feeling it for a second and see how I feel there.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Get a tour bus.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah. Maybe one day we can do a stream. We can go investigate something together.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I'm coming out to your area. We're doing that. There's got to be something. I don't know if I'm going to go into a haunted house necessarily, unless I know I'm going to not have anything follow me home. If you can guarantee nothing's coming home with me.
There we go.
And I want to throw Luke in that haunted house and see how he does. He's our freaking guinea pig neutral skeptic.
There you go.
Like, he's not even a skeptic. He's just not. He would have to have an opinion on it, and he's just kind of like, I'm Luke. So, anyways, well, thanks for answering the question.
Well, question for you,
yes,
YoErika. What does the YoErika stream have planned for 2023?
For 2023? Gosh, I haven't even thought in that bigger. I'm just like trying to get through this weekend. For 2023, I don't know. It's been so fun, like finally getting to we're making a community oracle deck. We have been talking about that for at least a year and a half. So on my stream, I have it in channel points. Anything that inspires you or motivates you, it could just be one word. It could be something funny. It could be something more deep. And I'm going to print an oracle deck that the community makes. And I'm just kind of excited to do some more things like that. Camp Misfits, I think is going to be back. I don't know how I'm going to change it up yet. It has to be back.
Yeah.
So this summer we are going back to, one thing I do know is we're going back to camp. It's called Camp Misfits. Medium Jenny now has a shirt that
I do have the
not
shirt.
Her streamer friend bought, but her husband bought, because I just found out they're a husband and wife deal like yesterday. I was like, wow, what a nice streamer friend to buy Medium Jenny Lee. And I think I even asked on your stream, Medium Jenny Lee, about your husband, like, what's he think of this? What is it? And I never even put it together, because I do ask a lot of questions. Does Priestess of Wonderland have a husband streaming that I don't know about, or a girlfriend?
Not that I know of.
A partner?
Not that I know.
Oh my gosh.
I know we'll ask her when she comes on here in a few.
Yeah. So we got Camp Misfits working on the Oracle deck. Oh, for sure I am going to be playing the new, I don't know what it's called, but I have it on pre-order, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Part 2.
Oh, cool.
Hopefully I don't lose any people in that, because I have been waiting for that since freaking 2020 when I got into it. I finished that game in probably like June or something, and I've been waiting ever since for Part 2. But I think finding more ways to be able to stream and balance my work life, but creating this Misfits community where, you know, like everyone's welcome and just trying to be rad, have a good time, no pressure.
We love your community.
Excellent.
So.
Yeah.
I just thank you all I was telling Luke this morning, I go, it's just so nice how this metaphysical community on Twitch, you know, specifically speaking about the two of you, have welcomed me in, and just like, I don't know, I just I used to work at a metaphysical store, and I was never really taken seriously as a tarot card reader. I didn't work as a tarot card reader there. And I always just felt like one day I might be as good as these other people, and they probably still are better than me. I don't know. I can't compare and despair, but it's just so cool that now I have a space where I get to participate. And I mean, it was a great job, but I really wanted to be doing that side of it and not managing events in the store, which I do enjoy, but it's just so fun that this community, I don't know, I've been welcomed in more than I have in the offline world.
I think that the tarot community and plus, you know, I'm not going to say the whole Twitch community.
It's not, yeah.
That definitely the tarot, and I've seen it with Luke's like music people, and I've seen it in some of the gaming streams, like, there's just a lot of really great people that are wanting to lift others up. And it's wonderful that we're all finding each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's something we wanted to do more of, even outside of the witching hours, like on Ginny's stream and stuff like that, is just having more like bringing in other people off the tarot channel, because we have like our own communities, but a lot of times those communities overlap a lot.
Yeah.
And so I think chat, the people in chat and stuff have fun seeing. Well, it's awesome, like, just to have you in here tonight. It's like, oh, YoErika's in our stream. This is awesome.
Yeah.
So cool. I'm like at your house.
So yeah, exactly.
Eating all your
like,
snacks.
As much as I love Twitch, the chat room's cool, but like sometimes, you know, and it's just the way I am. Obviously, probably why I have the Witching Hours podcast. I want to talk. I want to be like, want to ask questions and hear stories, and sometimes that's not as easy to do in a Twitch chat. So it's nice to have you on here and be able to have some of that discussion. We should do it again.
Hell yeah, I'd be so down. Sour Girl's asking, will this discussion be on a VOD ?
Yes. And podcast, wherever you listen to your podcasts, and on YouTube.
So if you're interested in any of the podcasts we talked about, other guests we've had, you can look up The Witching Hours. That's on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to your podcast. You can go listen to any of our old episodes. And tonight's will go up there probably this weekend. I'll edit, you know, I'll have to go through and do a little edit of stuff, but I'll get it up there. And so you can always go back and listen to them that way.
We can edit out my crying. No, it's okay. This will be my first podcast I've ever been on.
Yay.
How bitchin'. And to be with y'all's podcast, right? With this freaking chat. Hell yeah. Thanks, friends.
It's exciting.
Heck
yeah, Joe. So Joe was saying he didn't do predictions himself. I didn't do predictions either, but I got my tarot deck out and I got a few cards. So yeah, you could do one that way. I get it works. I haven't done a good job of keeping up with chat tonight. I'm just trying to read through here. Yeah, that's what Keisha was saying. She was just going through cards. Yeah, we'll be a VOD. We treat each other like celebrities. Like, well, I mean, to a certain extent, it is, right? Twitch is kind of weird. Which is kind of weird that way, because like some people you watch all the time and they may not be a big streamer, but it's Luke.
They are to you because you watch them all the time.
Yeah, exactly. What's going on, Luke?
Luke's wearing a shirt that just says beer on it.
Awesome. I love it.
Nothing wrong with that.
Hey, Luke.
Medium Jenny Lee says, hey, Luke. Joanna Frost says, hey, Luke. Beer.
Oh, the Sunset Beer Company.
Sunset Beer Company.
We went out to California for the first time last summer.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Luke.
We're testing out stuff in the
Okay, you're on a podcast right now?
It's an official podcast.
All right. Well, we probably do need to wrap it up with YoErika, especially since Luke is trying to do some music. Yeah. And we're going to have Princess of Wonderland come on next.
Thank you so much, everybody. And thank you, chat. Hell yeah.
Thank you, Erica. I appreciate it.
Okay, I'll hang up now. Bye, friends.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Yeah, we are going a little bit later than I was expecting tonight, but we had some technical issues this evening. So
and it's fun.
I know.
It's been really fun. So we're going to have even more fun because here comes Alyson. I do think that I do need to take a little bit of a break for a second while Priestess Wonderland comes on.
Well, do we want to take we'll go to be right back for a second. I'll refresh my drink as well, and then we'll get in here.
That sounds great.
Okay. All right, guys, take a couple minutes if you need to, and we will be right back.
Okay.
Thank you for listening to The Witching Hours. You can visit our social media at facebook.com. Follow Medium Jenny Lee on Twitter and YouTube, which contains videos related to mediumship, tarot, and general weirdness. You can follow Giant of the Frost at Twitter and Frost Giant Rune and Tarot, where you can find personalized rune and tarot readings. Past episodes of The Witching Hours can be found on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and many other places you listen to your podcasts. Now, back to The Witching Hours. See if I can make this happen again here. And there we go.
Yay. Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hi,
okay.
So,
hi.
It's late.
Are you okay? It's late.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I can just kind of confirm what everybody else has said tonight.
Is that the way it's going?
Well, I love how just like so many different things have been said, but they all kind of relate to each other. And I love that I caught like the middle of Charity's. So like it was really cool that she talked about numerology, because that was something that came up for me that I thought was going to be a 7-year is going to be a lot better than a 6-year. And I don't know if I missed the very beginning of her chat. So I don't know if she talked about like right now at all astrology wise. So I have a little bit to say about that. And like YoErika's reading I was so impressed by YoErika's reading, because I literally just have cards like all over my table here. And she had it like a nice image for everybody to see. And your predictions have been really interesting. And a lot of the cards that Giant of the Frost has mentioned came up in my reading as well too. So I have time, but I think right now. I'm sorry, say that again.
Tell us the astrology stuff right now, because we didn't talk about that.
Well, I just think it's going to be really significant because of the Mercury retrograde and kind of building off the Capricorn energy. We're in Capricorn season. We've got a lot of other planets in Capricorn right now. We just had the Capricorn new moon. And I think that like the foundation aspect of all of that earth energy is going to be like really important, and like allowing your winter season to be a winter season, because like we think that we're supposed to start something new on January 1st. Mm-hmm. And not only are we in the middle of winter, we're also in the middle of a moon cycle, and that's just not a really good time to be starting things. So I think like it makes me feel better to have permission to like not have to start anything new right now. Like I'm cold, I'm tired. I want to take a nap for 2 weeks. I want to be a bear and hide out in a cave.
I've been saying that we need to be bears for winter time.
Yeah. And like, I mean, winter just started. Like we're not just winter happened 5 days ago.
Yeah.
This has already been the longest winter ever.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think I spent the whole last 5 days in pajamas. Today was like the first day I've been like,
good. That's what we're supposed to be doing. It's like, I'm down for a pajama party, New Year's Eve party. I don't want to go out. I don't want to see people. I just want to stay home and hunker down. So I think now is the best winter to like at least try that, to try, hey, what if I don't start something on January 1st? What if I wait until January 21st for the Aquarius new moon? Let winter be winter. Why are we putting so much pressure on ourselves?
Yeah, very true.
Push it back to April. Push it back to April.
And kind of a lot of what YoErika was saying about
she said something about like we're still trying to pretend to be normal, and we haven't fully made that transition. And I think it was the Six of Swords in reverse that she was mentioning this, of like, we haven't processed everything. We haven't gone through, like, the last 2-3 years. It's like we're still in it, and we're still like, give yourself that time to hibernate if you need to. If you feel like your body is tired, if you're mentally exhausted, like, allow yourself to process all of those things. So let it be winter. Be a bear.
It's interesting because I was in Void Cat Luce's stream the other night, and she pulled a card for me, and it was something like, be okay in the stillness. And like, that's exactly what you're talking about. Like, be okay to just do nothing.
Yeah.
And that's really hard to do, especially like, even if you try to like release everything after the full moon and every month, like, even if you try to do that every month, it's still going to take time, and you don't have to immediately fill it back up again. Like, allow yourselves to let go of those things and be empty and be still, and to allow for that emptiness, so that you're not just stuffing it back up with more negative BS. Like, if we sit with that emptiness, we can then actually call in something that like is good for us and that's meant for us, and to feel really fulfilled, instead of just like, oh, I need to replace this. Let me eat a whole cake by myself.
We're just trying to be bears, Alyson. We're gathering fat content.
Okay, if you need that food storage for your hibernation.
That's my
But then if I eat a whole cake by myself, then I'm like anxious and like a sugar high, then sugar crash, and then I'm super anxious, and I'm like, oh, what am I doing? I hate everything.
Why did I do this? Yeah.
So what else is in store for us for the moon and moon stuff for the year?
I did a lot of readings with a bunch of different decks, and I like to do that because that way you have more of a chance of like finding a common theme, because more of the same card will pop up. So when I did a reading, just like, what do we need to know going into 2023, I got the Five of Swords, the King of Pentacles, and the Star. And then I did a reading for each of the eclipses this year. And all three of these cards came up in every single reading, at least one of them.
Wow.
So that's like the overall theme, it feels like, for me. And I think the message of the Five of Swords is to really like stop self-sabotaging and self-sacrificing yourself for other people. Like, start putting yourself first, which I think is what the King of Pentacles is here saying, is like, you are allowed to be the king of your castle. You're allowed to have good things in your life, and you're allowed to be happy with the prosperity that you want to call in. Because I think there's so much guilt around, well, I'm not worthy, or I don't deserve this, I don't need much. But like, we do. we need things to survive. And I think the Star here is telling us, if we express gratitude for the things that we have, more things will come in, but also express gratitude for the lessons and the obstacles and everything that we have lost the last few years, so that we can come out the other side and say, okay, I understand why that had to crumble, so that I could be here now, so that I could find this peace and balance and harmony in my life. So that was like the overall theme of the year. And then I just had a few things to say about the eclipses coming up this year. We have 2 eclipse seasons a year, one in the spring and one in the fall. And all of those same cards came up for all of the readings that I did, which was
That's
so
crazy.
like I had to like the reason I have so many cards out here is because I had to go into other tarot decks and find the same card, the Five of Swords, the King of Pentacles, and the Star to like, because I wanted to look at it as a whole. So I had to like insert more cards in there. So the first thing I wanted to say was like, don't worry about starting your new diet on January 1st. Wait at least if you're interested in starting to follow the moon, like wait at least until January 21st where we have a new moon. And that doesn't mean you can't try new things. It's about like trying things out and seeing if it works. And then by the time we get to the new moon, you're like, oh, this is the thing that's working. I'm going to try to make a commitment to this, and then you might have more success in it. And just setting intentions in general is
that sounds good to me, because I got a ton of chocolate for Christmas and I might run out by January 21st. So it's definitely not going to be gone by the 1st. So
well, and that's the other thing about setting intentions is not beating yourself up because you didn't do it exactly the way you planned to or said you were going to. And I think that's part of the like Five of Swords energy is just not like, don't beat yourself up. Allow yourself to have those things to happen. Allow yourself to make mistakes and to try new things and do things differently. And I think that's what the moon following teaches us, is just allowing yourself to have a really high and you're going to have a really low, and to not like feel bad about it, feel guilty about it, or think that you will never have a really high ever again, and to get like stuck there in the dark. And I think somebody mentioned earlier, oh, what if we want to hibernate for 12 months? If that's how long it takes you to like get to a point where you can have a really high, then let yourself have that 12-month low. Everybody's timeline is different. Everybody's grief timeline is different. Everybody's I think that's the lesson, is just allowing it.
Yeah. I mean, the time that we're coming out of, it almost sounds like an excuse, but to be honest with you, I feel like there's a lot of possibility where people need more time than normal to recover. That they've gone through, and I think I found that with myself, like gone through more mentally. I've gone through more than even you realize. Like you knew these last couple of years was tough, but when you actually start trying to process it and realizing and then kind of acknowledging how much it was, I think it could take some time. You might need maybe not a year, but yeah, like it's not going to be something you can just recuperate with in a weekend,
Yeah. And I think that's so important to be said, because I think maybe it was YoErika that mentioned it earlier. It just feels like, why are we still trying to like do the old normal? Like, why? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
no.
I like that. I don't know. This holiday season, I was like, really? We're just doing the same things that we always used to do that nobody liked, but we're just doing it. Okay. And we've had to keep going. We've had, and I'm not saying that anybody should have given up, but within the last 2 years, but it's like, we haven't had a chance to give ourselves time to process and deal with it. It's a lot, because I think we were just like, okay, now thought it was gonna be over and done with, but it's not. It continues to build.
Yep. Yeah. We still need all of that time we still need to give ourselves more time to process it all.
Yeah, which I think is what a lot of the predictions were. Like, there's still being that that slow start to 2023. I don't know how long. Charity was talking about, Saturn and that change. And for my reading, it was the Chariot. I guess the question is whether the Chariot comes in May or whether it comes next December.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I had the Chariot in April. Oh no, wait, in March.
In March.
And the reason I pulled for March, even though we're not having an eclipse, is because it's the new moon before the eclipse new moon. And so we're having 2 Aries new moons this year, back to back. And that rarely happens. Usually when you have an Aries new moon, you have a Taurus one after that. So it's shifting the combination of all of the new and full moons that we have this year, but it's also Aries energy. So it's like we're given this opportunity to really jumpstart and have action and like go Chariot energy. However, the second one is during a Mercury retrograde, and the that's the start of eclipse season. So I think that the first one, March 21st, which is also the spring equinox, which is a time where nature is starting things and sprouting and growing. I think that Aries new moon on March 21st is going to be really significant, even if so you can hibernate all the way from now until March 21st.
Gotta wake up in March.
Yeah, wake your ass up. Set your alarm clock for March 21st.
Yeah, so I intended to pull cards for just the eclipses, and for some reason I pulled for that, and it was the Chariot and the Page of Cups that came up for that new moon. And I saw the Page of Cups as kind of being surprised by allowing yourself that time to process and hibernate and gestate and germinate on things, and to lay that solid foundation and lay that really sturdy, steady foundation from which to build your dreams on. I think you'll be surprised that it might actually work out. And then you get in your Chariot and then you go. But then the following new moon, we have the eclipse, which is going to dredge up more things from the subconscious that we need to process. And so get going for like a month and then slow down a little bit, which is also when the Saturn transition was happening, I think.
I think that she said that was in May.
Okay,
so right before, yeah.
So the second Aries new moon is April 20th, and then the full moon is also an eclipse. So the full moon is May 5th. So I bet that's around the time.
Yeah, it probably is. Wow.
Yeah.
It's a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah, I'm excited for the Saturn Pisces. I'm all for that.
That sounds wonderful.
So yeah, hibernate until March, from now until March. and not necessarily like really build that foundation. Like if you think of it in gardening terms of like getting your compost out in the soil and adding more nutrients, and like planting your seeds and making sure they have everything that they need, and making your plans and your lists and your goals and your step by step, so that when you do take action, you'll be able to build on it and allow things to grow.
That all sounds wonderful to me. So that's my game plan. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So yeah, then that April 21st is the Mercury retrograde. So that will be the second retrograde, because we're starting the year off.
We're in today, right?
Yeah.
Technical problems today.
And then, for the Scorpio full moon, May 5th, I only felt called to pull one card, and that was the King of Pentacles, and so that was him coming back in to play. And I think that is that's during Taurus season, so which is very kind of King of Pentacles energy of that grounded earthiness. But Taurus loves to have nice things and believes that they deserve to have nice things. And I think that just kind of reinforces that foundation after maybe a somewhat turbulent start to eclipse season. Just remember to ground yourself into that energy, and remember you planned for this, and your soil's ready. You built the foundation, like you have stable ground to stand on, and to not have that Scorpio lunar eclipse kind of knock you off a little bit.
I think YoErika is very impressed with your "Let It Be Winter." She said it a couple of times.
Just let winter be. Well, yeah. That's that's hard for someone that lives in LA who doesn't actually get that cold air reminder of that, like slaps you in the face of like, oh yeah, it's winter. I should rest today.
Yeah, that was especially true this year because we usually get that slap of winter and it's like, okay, yeah, this sucks. But this year we really got a slap. We got punched by winter this year.
and now we're in 60 again.
I know.
It's like,
I'm sure it'll be back around again.
Oh yeah, we're just getting started, people.
Just enjoy. Enjoy what we got.
So then we have like a little bit of a break from eclipse energy. And then in October, we have a Libra new moon solar eclipse. And for that, I got the 8 of Swords, the 5 of Swords, and the Page of Pentacles. And I think like anytime we feel like we get ahead with something, like we've done the work, we've done the processing, we've journaled and we've done everything, we're like, okay, I'm okay with this now. Something else is gonna like come your way that kind of throws you off balance and makes you want to step back into your hidey hole, your cave or wherever you've been hibernating. And I think the Page of Pentacles is to remind us in October when things start to get darker and spookier and that shadows come up and we have eclipses that bring our shadows to the surface and make us look at things that maybe aren't that pretty to look at, that like we're just learning, we're growing. The Page of Pentacles, it wants to move forward, but like slow and steady, and wants to learn. And I always think that it's helpful to be reminded that everything that we encounter is a lesson. I keep reminding myself, this is a lesson. This is so that I can learn and grow. And you can run and put yourself in a cage and hide yourself from that lesson, or you can take it one step at a time. And then we had that 5 of Swords coming back up. The 5 of Swords just keeps coming up throughout the entire year. So I think for different times of the year, that's going to mean different things. But I think, like I said before, when you finally feel like you're over something and you're like, this doesn't bother me anymore, this doesn't trigger me anymore, it's like the universe is like, oh yeah, here you go, let me. Yeah. And you're like, oh, I thought I got over that.
Yeah, I had that a lot this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, yay to do some more next year. But I think it's part of the whole process of what we were talking about how all of us still have a lot to process over this last year.
Yeah.
And even though we think that we want to be done with it and we want to move forward and we want things to be normal again, we still all have a lot of healing to do.
And I think it's hitting everybody at different times. I think it's just it's not like we're all collectively going through it together like we did at the beginning of 2020, where we felt like people understood each other and because we were all in it together. Now I think it's hitting at different times, especially the people that lost people in 2020. When it comes up on their like year anniversary of that losing that person or their birthday, it's like everything's going to hit everybody so differently. Whereas I think in 2020 we had this like, okay, we're in this together. But that's also what the 7 I think teaches us too, is to come together as a collective. and find that harmony again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Linguist had 5 of Swords in their reading too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which I think at the beginning of your discussion tonight, you were bringing up the individualness, which was a huge part of the whole night too, about people trying to figure out how best to make things work for them individually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not what your parents want you to do or what is best for the other person that you're living with or the other people you're living with. What's best for you is best for the collective and for the people that you love. We're only hurting ourselves. I'm say this, I am like the worst about putting other people before myself. The lesson is that when you put yourself first, you're putting everybody else first too. And when you fill your cup, you can help fill out somebody else's cup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was something I wrote in my personal thoughts about it, was that with all of the self-care, like YoErika was talking about, and the healing stuff that I was talking about, it's like we're realizing that we have to heal ourselves, but in turn, that's helping heal others and collectively healing everybody. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even doing readings on Twitch for other people, I'm still getting the healing out of that, or the message that I'm meant to hear. And even if the people in chat aren't being read for, you're still getting that you're still part of that conversation. You're part of that collective, and what you hear is what you're meant to hear. And we're all collectively healing at the same time.
Absolutely.
And that's why you shouldn't put yourself out there and do something like this, because you never know like who you could be helping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think there's some social healing that happens through some of this, the streams and stuff like that as well. Like for those people who just can't get out where they used to or whatever, like it's giving them all, we've had YoErika and we've had Charity and her YouTube channel, we've had you on, like all these different communities that have been kind of built over the last few years where people needed that social interaction and to feel like they were part of something. So I think that could be integrated as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think it's all of us weirdos who were like, I don't want to go back to that other normal. We found like our own little community here, which like I don't like. YoErika said something else about like she's been so accepted on here, and it's like, and I just related to that so hard of like, yeah, like I don't have real life people friends, so it's weird to feel so closely connected to people that you haven't even met in person, and to just be accepted, because it's like, what, you're not making fun of me, you're not like pointing and laughing at me, like what? This is something I've never experienced before. It's nice.
Yeah. All of us outcasts have found each other.
Yeah.
Our soul family. Yeah.
And of course I'm a Gemini, so I have to have the conversations going on. Having the communities is for sure. A lot of things come out of.
We definitely needed these conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For sure. And I'm really glad that the conversation turned to UFOs at some point.
Yeah.
And it made me wonder, like, are we going to get more disclosure this year?
One of the words I got from Spirit was discovery.
Discovery. What are we going to discover? I feel like there's something big, like there's something on the horizon. Something's got to happen eventually. And so I say, why not? Why not? Why not this year?
Yeah.
But I have been saying that since I was a teenager. So, so we'll see.
Well, I mean, we did get some disclosure this year, but it wasn't really talked about
that much. You're right, and I feel like it was a much bigger disclosure than people realize. Like, if you actually sit down and look at what happened, you had the U.S. government. You had the U.S. government come out and say, there is something in the skies, and we don't know what it is.
And they
And our
said
pilots
to
see it.
stop being assholes about it is really what the biggest deal of it
So
was.
we don't know what it is. We have trained military professionals and high-level officials in the military and the U.S. government that don't know what these things are. And so we want to make it to where when people see this stuff, they can talk about it and report it without being disciplined.
Yeah, Erika, there was a what do you call it? Not a hearing.
Yeah, it was a hearing.
It was a hearing.
It was a congressional hearing. I actually turned it on. In one of my classes.
I made my kids watch it in class. It was in May. It was at the end of the school year.
So I'm sure it's on YouTube. So yeah, you're talking about the intelligence. I think it was the director of intelligence. They had a congressional meeting. They came out and they said that, yeah, these things exist. They didn't say they were aliens, but these unidentified objects exist. They go at high rates of speed that they're not ours. Like we don't. And who else could it be? They put out all the videos of military fighters and stuff like that.
Galactic being.
All the videos they have of this stuff, and they said we need to make this an open topic. Like people need to be able to discuss this, and pilots and stuff like that need to be able to report what's going on without fear of being fired or being stuck, not being able to be promoted in their jobs and stuff like that. So, to me,
I think
that is disclosure.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Go ahead.
I think that's the best thing that came out of it was giving military personnel the you're allowed to say this. You can report it without being humiliated.
Yeah, ostracized or cast out or
fear of never being able to fly again.
Yeah. All kinds of
taking their wings away. You're crazy.
Yeah.
So, and not just pilots, but my dad's retired Navy, and he saw a UFO. I mean, the submersibles, which we joke around about the UAPs, but they changed the UAPs because they have the SAPs too. So because there's a whole thing of the submersible UFOs that gets seen a ton by Navy personnel. So.
Wow.
Yeah, UFOs in the water, Erika. It's a huge thing. Seeing UFOs go from the sky and then go into the water and just disappear. So, we'll see. You're done scuba diving.
You thought you were safe, Erika. You thought.
Yeah, and if you ever get into reading some of the books and stuff about some of the people who have done research on some of the stuff, they make up a huge percentage of sightings. And if you talk to somebody who's been out in the middle of the ocean in the Navy or sailors and stuff like that, it's not uncommon.
Well, that makes
my
sense.
dad. I talked to my dad one time, and he was like, I was like, did you ever see a UFO? And he's like, oh, no. And then he's like, well, one time we saw this, and it just went down. This thing came in the water, and the lights were glowing, and it just shot up out of the water. And it's like, you told me. Well, he's like, well, I didn't really think about it, but it's like, yeah.
What are you going to say, Alyson?
Because there's no light pollution out there, so it's like, how can you deny it?
Yeah.
This light, there's lights in the sky.
It wasn't a Christmas show.
It was a Christmas show out in the middle of the North Atlantic. It was Santa Claus, and
Santa Claus. So, Alyson, other than your tarot cards you pulled for all the different moon stuffs, the eclipses and whatnot, just overall, your own personal feelings, how do you feel about the coming year?
Up until a couple days ago, I was feeling really good about it.
What changed your mind?
I fell down a flight of stairs, and now I literally can't do anything.
What happened? What did you do? What happened?
I don't know. I forgot the stairs were there, apparently.
Oh my goodness.
But so even if I wanted to start things on January 1st, I'm not going to. And I had a lot of time to like rest and meditate today. And it was just like, that's why I think everybody needs to do it. Like the universe is going to force you to sit on your ass and close your eyes. if you,
I have been feeling so tired every single day that I have to, like I'm being forced to like lay down and rest or just sit and be still. I'm every day. But are you okay? Did you get hurt falling down the stairs?
I haven't had an x-ray or anything, but I think because I can walk that I'm okay. But I guess I eventually have to have an x-ray done.
Oh my goodness. But, what do you think that you injured?
My back and my hip.
Oh no.
Because I landed on, I don't want to talk about me, never. But I was able to meditate and lay on an ice pack all day today. Yeah. And that's when I was pulling my cards, and I really was trying to separate myself from the collective. And then I realized, oh wait, you are part of the collective, because I knew that like, obviously this lesson that I'm facing right now, I needed to stop. I needed to rest because I wasn't listening to my body. I wasn't hearing the signs, and now I have to stay in bed. And I kept trying to like, okay, I'll pull cards for myself and then I'll pull it for the collective. And I think it's the same message. Like we have to let winter be winter.
Yeah.
Like, we have to. I do like, I really resonated with the numerology and what Charity said. Like a 7-year is about, like, if you think of all the 7s in the tarot deck, like not all of them are positive and good. Like I think we are on this way to making a transformation. It's just longer than what we expected. And the sooner we take that time to process and rest and let go and heal, the faster that transformation is going to come.
Agreed.
Yeah. Well, I hope you heal quickly.
I am healing quickly, and I think it's because I like rested. I'm like, wow, like it's only been 2 days and the swelling is like half down already. I'm like, whoa, okay, I'm going to meditate more.
Wow.
You know, that was similar to the reading that I did today, though. When I was like, let me pull a few cards. I've been asking everybody to do predictions. I shouldn't be lazy and not have one myself. Even though I never really thought of me being a prediction guy, but I've been reading tarot, so I was like, I'll give it a shot. But so when I did the reading, I was telling Ginny, I was like, this reading seems like it's like for me, not like, you know, the world, because I have some I'm like looking at possible change, a lot of changes. I know this is going to be a tumultuous year for me. So, and that's kind of like exactly way my reading came out. But I was like, well, maybe that's just the way it's going to be for everybody, you know? So, yeah. So it's hard to tell if it's a self-reading, but like you said, maybe it's, you know, we are all part. It's all one. It's all the same thing. So,
yeah.
And if we all do our part, then the whole collective will shift.
Yes. So Alyson, when you were talking about your falling down the stairs, the word bruising just kept repeating in my head. Bruising, bruising, bruising. So I don't know if that means that like there's nothing broken in there, that you're just really bruised up, but that's just what I was hearing. So.
Oh, does that mean that nothing would be broken?
I mean, I'm not a doctor, nor can I give you an x-ray, but that's what I was hearing.
Well, that's good to know.
Yes.
I tend to catastrophize things, so I'm like, you're fine. You can walk, you're fine. Everything's okay. Because
I would still get checked out.
Yeah.
We need an audio command to play when you do that. Medium Janelle is not a doctor, professional.
But I just kept hearing the word bruising. So I don't know. My prediction for you, Alyson, after going on the stairs is I think you're going to be okay.
Get some rest.
Thank you. I think so too.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, what do we have going on in chat here? We got a lot going on in chat. This has been my worst night ever, I think, keeping up with chat for some.
Yeah. There's been
my screen changed all of a sudden, and now you guys are over here, and the chat is like right in front of me.
Oh, that's
but it
weird.
wasn't. Yeah, I don't know how to get it back. So.
Well, we still need to
Linguist
read.
said she sat on her butt for too long and hurt her back.
Oh no.
And then we're talking about Project Blue Book. Michael Turns. So talking about Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yeah, there was a lot of alien talk going on.
Yeah, Keisha sending big healing energy to Priestess of Wonder.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you.
One of my favorite things I saw in the chat was YoErika said that she was already freaked out about whales, and now she has to worry about UFOs.
Worry about UFOs. I know, there's already enough stuff in the water, right, YoErika?
Yeah.
Like, now we got something else to worry about?
Well, I was going to say we don't know that aliens haven't always been in the ocean.
Very true.
That's true. She's going to add that to her Google It list. The Project Blue Book. Also, obviously it's like dramatized, and I don't think we actually ever finished it because we kind of got rid of like regular TV and we never found it. But there was a TV show called Project Blue Book that was like roughly based on the professor they had to help run Project Blue Book. So
that's on the Sci-Fi Channel, I believe.
So if you're interested to check it out,
it was pretty good.
Like a real, PhD, like academic type that was paired with the U.S. Air Force ran Project Blue Book until 69?
Something like that.
I think, or something. Or maybe that's when it started.
Like every episode, it is like a story type of thing. But at the end, it tells you how it actually happened. Yeah, like little information about the real deal. Yeah. So we still have Sylvie's predictions to read, which she said she wanted me to wait till the end. So it's the end. We're going to read Sylvie's predictions.
The end.
She did a card for every month of the year. Oh. So here we go. January is the Two of Cups. Hard work. You're going to be going through a lot of hard work, focusing and concentrating on your goals, spiritually and mental. But don't push yourselves too much. Oh, doesn't this sound familiar? Remember our boundaries and find balance between work and nurturing our minds. Excellent. Perfect. Goes right in hand with what Alyson was saying. February is the Two of Wands. Use your intellect to push through our goals and watch our work come to fruition and bloom. That sounds lovely. March was the Star. So, somebody got the Star. Alyson, did you get the Star?
Yes. The Star was in all of them. Yeah.
Wow. See a lot coming into our true self and being, releasing what no longer serves us with the help of spiritual beings around us, the ancestors, spirit guides, animals, and the universe to help support us. Excellent. Which was March. That's like a bit of a transitionary time there. I think so. I agree. April was the 10 of Cups. After the release of what no longer serves, will be an inner wisdom and growth for all, and we'll realize how to be determined, like be determined, how determined we are. May, the Wheel of Fortune, will have freedom mostly in our external surroundings to do whatever we please and go with the flow. How perfect is that? That was when Saturn goes into Pisces. Sylvie, look at you. Look at you. All right, June, 7 of Wands. Our hearts and minds will be set on adventure and determined to do what it takes to see what more there is out there in the world for us. And our minds are now restructured and have fresh perspectives. That's exactly what we're talking about. Tearing down the old shit so we can make something new. July's the Emperor. Our inner self-worth will be greatly heightened. and ready to take on whatever's thrown at us, and we'll handle it with confidence, taking back our power. I love it. August, she got the King of Cups, but she said her brain died, so there's no information. September's the Three of Cups. Be a journey we have to go through, and it may be dark, but we'll have our soul family. Oh, she's the soul family, as I've been saying all night. Okay, have our soul family around us to support us as we take on go through a spiritual journey. And if you haven't met your soul family yet, then this will be a chance for you to meet them along the way and teach you valuable lessons, take you through the next stage. That's just like, once again, it's going through the same kind of things everybody's been talking about, like going through these some bumps in the road as the year goes on, which that was the fall. Yeah.
Yeah. Medium Jenny. Give me 1 second. We had Cosmic Unwind come in.
Oh, okay.
And he brought a rating party with him. So welcome
goodness. Hey. Cosmic
Unwind.
Hello, Cosmic Unwind. Thank you.
And welcome in, Raiders.
I was reading. I couldn't see.
Yeah. If everyone in chat, if you haven't followed Cosmic Unwind, he is someone, as YoErika would say, a must-follow situation.
Yes.
I get readings quite often from Cosmic Unwind, and they were always like right on the dot. Yeah. They're always exactly what I need to hear, whether I want to hear it or not. And so if you're looking for someone to get a reading from that's going to, tell you what you actually need to hear, then definitely go check out Cosmic Unwind. He's one of my favorite tarot readers on Twitch. So go check him out. And he also does like really cool sound baths and so I also listen to Cosmic Unwind for like some meditation. So really good stuff. So definitely go check out Cosmic Unwind, and thanks for coming in.
I think we all enjoy Cosmic Unwind with the Love Your Damn Self.
Yep.
Yeah. Which Cosmic Unwind, we heard that you're going to be pulling back from Twitch a little bit, and I have to tell you, I'm a little bit sad about it.
Oh, yeah.
So you know.
You're talking about TikTok. We were in there. See, we're not lying. I was in there. Talking about you're doing some more TikTok.
TikTok? I don't even have a TikTok. So I don't order a za, and I don't have a TikTok.
So welcome into the Witching Hours. So this Witching Hours channel is for a podcast. So me and Medium Jenny Lee and also Priestess of Wonderland all have our own channels here. This podcast is for discussion about anything interesting, weird, paranormal. We talk about it all. You can go check out old episodes of the Witching Hours anywhere you listen to podcasts at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, anything like that. So you can go check out old episodes. We've talked about vampires, angels, just
communication,
we've had an animal communicator on. We've had tarot readers on. We've had all kinds of things. We've done channeling. So just the way I like to explain the Witching Hours is those late night conversations on Saturday night after you've had one too many. So definitely go check it out if you enjoyed tonight's show. Tonight's show specifically was kind of a different show. We're doing a prediction show for 2023. So if you have something, Cosmic Unwind, I'm not putting you on the spot.
Yeah. Any predictions for the next year?
If you have any predictions for 2023, feel free to throw them out there. And we have a Google Doc, and we're putting them in. And then this time next year, like we did last year, we'll go over those predictions a year from now, and we'll see how it went. So anyway, welcome in, everyone.
Yay. So I was just finishing up reading Sylvie's predictions for the next year. We're on October. September, she's talking about finding your soul family. And then the whole Cosmic Unwind crew come in from the temple. So, you know, isn't that just fitting? Okay, so October, the soul family we encountered in the previous month will help us soar through new heights as we uncover a different part of ourselves that was hidden and didn't think was ever there. That sounds magical, Sylvie. November is the Tower. We continue on our solo journey to explore what's there for us, but it won't be scary, as the Tower card is known for. We've already gained so much strength and wisdom in the past few months, and now we're able to take on new challenges that await us. That sounds great. And then December, she got the 7 of Pentacles. After all these intense transformations and learning we've gone through, here comes a rebirth, and we have all learned to be flexible with our methods in order to accomplish our goals. I think Sylvie's predictions fit perfectly in with everybody else's stuff they said. Absolutely.
Yeah, there's a lot of synchronicity. Yep. A lot of, I think everyone had their own kind of spin on things, but there's there's a common message, I think.
And I love that everybody had a different way of doing it. We had tarot and numerology and astrology and the moon cycles and channeling. And it's amazing. And it all came out and with the same messages, which I knew that it was going to. I had no doubts.
Well, that's another lesson, Lone Rose, is of this year, I think, is really trusting. Well, you say trust happiness, medium Jenny Lee, but I think a lot of what came up in my readings was trusting and allowing, stop trying to control everything, because we can't control anything. There's so many things that are out of our control.
Yep.
And so just trusting that your reading was accurate for you. And I think you tapped into the collective as well.
Absolutely. So there was nothing to be nervous about, Sylvie. See? Yeah. It was all good. You fit in with everything else. It was all excellent.
I mean, it is overwhelming to think of a year as a whole.
Yeah, and a year can change. A year can change so drastically. I mean, just think of 2020. Everything was going like normal. 2020 wasn't that much different. And then what was it, March that hit? And then, so you never know, what a year holds.
And who thought 2020 was going to be like the best year ever?
Yeah.
Whoa.
We have like that nice round even number. I don't know a lot about numerology or what, but it's like 2020, like, an exciting year, like 2000 or something.
Well,
bringing in a new decade,
which is foundation, but we had to tear down our foundation to start building a new one from the ground up.
Yes. Which I mean, let's be honest, it was needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't think we realized like on how many different levels it needed to be.
Yeah.
It was everything. Everything needed restructuring.
Like when we were talking about with YoErika, we pulled back the covers and found all the cockroaches.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I talked about it earlier, but that's something with Cosmic in here too. There's a lot of people who are seeking spiritual guidance who I don't know if they even if that would have been on their radar before. So on one hand, there's a lot of people who need there's people who need guidance and people who are looking to be taught and people who are looking at getting on the right track. And so that's its own work. There's a lot of work to be done, but on the other hand, you actually have people seeking it out, whereas 10 years ago, 5 years ago, that wasn't, I don't think we were on that path. And then it also leads me into questions. I've always been enamored by this idea of like the age of Aquarius and coming out of the age of Pisces and like what that actually means, and I've tried to do a little research on like the actual timeline and like when you should actually start seeing changes happen and what the meaning of that actually is. Because I've heard of like the age of Aquarius my whole life, but maybe that's a sign of it. maybe that's a sign of this changing of age. It's not just COVID and whatever else we're coming out of, but maybe we're just seeing a shift long term.
Well, and it's an age too. It's not the year of Aquarius or the decade of Aquarius. It's a lot. And how many years is an age? Or an era?
Time.
An era.
I mean, a lot of eras we have are based on people's lives, so I don't know how long. We have Google, right?
Looking it up. $2,160 years.
Wow.
I just looked one up and it said 1,000. But either way, we're looking at time.
A lot. So if we just started it,
years,
if we just kicked it off.
I'm not sure.
Oh, Siri's trying to, or Alexa's trying to give us some answers. She said she was.
Oh my gosh. And the last time I was on the Witching Hours we had the news story of the guys, Alexa talking to
yeah, with the ghost.
Oh yeah.
The ghost.
Yeah,
I never listened to that. I'll have to go back and listen to that too.
Oh yeah, it's on there. All the stories, all the news stories from the beginning are up on. We do the news at the beginning. If you weren't here for the beginning, we do the news at the beginning of every show. So if you want to go check out the news from today, it's click at the bottom of my Discord and you can go into articles. Scour the interwebs for
the link for it.
Paranormal news.
Here's the Discord link. Yeah, around 2,000 years is the age. And then Sylvia was talking about, what does that mean? What is the age of Aquarius? Well,
it's astrology, really, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of, maybe we can find someone to have on as a guest for that. Who knows about it? I know that we're coming out of the age of Pisces, which is the fish.
Mm-hmm.
So there's been correlations that have been drawn to that with Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
And so that we're leaving and we're going to a new age that's going to be a different kind of spirituality. But I'm not an expert on it to really too far down the rabbit hole on that one.
If you had to sum it up, what would you say is the age of Aquarius? What does that mean to you, Alyson?
Well, the sign Aquarius is usually the one that's making that transformation. They're the weirdos, they're the oddballs, and they're the ones that what seems weird to regular society, 10 years down the line, everybody's doing that thing. It's like they're the trendsetters, as on top of being the weirdos. So they're the outcasts, but it's the people that are the first people to do that change, to do that new thing, that weird thing that is eventually going to push society along or make that transformation. And I thought that we were in Capricorn before the age of Aquarius, though.
I'm pretty sure it's Pisces.
Because Pisces is after Aquarius.
I think it does go backwards.
I think we might be talking about Saturn versus maybe a different one of the other outer planets. Or maybe the planets just don't go in order, and I didn't know that.
The age of Pisces runs roughly from 50 BCE to 2100. So we're currently in the transition, but age of Pisces transition to Aquarius.
Well, for some reason, I think that those go backwards. The way that I've read about it a lot, but my brain can't retain all of the information, so I'm not going to be able to explain it in a good way.
The outer planets don't go in an actual circle either, so
yeah,
they just don't do it in order.
I don't know. I've read it. I've seen it, a depiction of it, and I understood it when I read it, but I won't be able to explain it here at all. But yeah, we're definitely seeing a huge transition regardless. And it probably does have to do with the age switching from one thing to another.
I just saw a quick snippet when I Googled and it said, we are on the cusp of moving into the age of Aquarius, and we are being asked to relinquish the old ways and harness the creative new. We will experience Mars and Gemini for 7 months, which is 5 to 6. From August of last summer all the way until March of 2020. So there's some articles and stuff out there.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot.
I don't know why. Yeah, and that's completely out of my.
I think it probably depends on what you're basing the age as. Is like, why is it Saturn? Because I don't even know that.
No, I think this specifically was starting to talk about the astrology outlook for 2022. So it's just talking about how in the astrology outlook we're in this period of, but I don't know what makes it. I don't know enough to know. These are questions I ask.
Linguist, what was your question for Alyson? We probably missed it.
And started talking about food.
What's the best resource to study the moon and stuff related to it? That was her question.
The Just a Phase Moon Planner, of course.
Yeah. I have it right here. I'll show it to you again.
I mean, I would even recommend picking up, like, I even see like $5 books at Five Below on the moon. Just because they'll all give you the same basic information. Mysteries of the Dark Moon by Demetra George is one of my favorites. It makes a good audiobook too, because it's kind of dense. So sometimes it's just nice to put it on and listen to it. That would be my favorite, but that book doesn't really go into basics of it really either. So
there's a link to Priestess Wonderland's Just Phase 2023 Moon Planner.
Yeah, Keisha had just signed it up too, so thank you, Keisha. So click that link and go purchase your.
Yeah, there's a digital copy too. Yep.
And just follow this.
Share.
I think following the moon and even if you don't get any resources, just starting to track your own mood and your own cycle, and then going back and comparing that to the moon cycle, because I think a lot of us here are skeptics and they need that proof and that validation, and that's really what made me start following astrology and the moon, because it was like, if I go back and look at all my old journals, I'm like, I was always feeling this way during this specific moon cycle or moon phase, or I was always in the mood to even just journal, like when you're going inward and processing things. And then I would go back and look, hey, I'm always doing that on a dark moon. It's just, I don't know. I like having that. I tried it and it worked.
Yeah. There's a link for her YouTube channel too. She does a weekly video talking about the phases of the moon for the week, and they're really insightful and helpful, whether you have the planner or not. So yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome. I finally went through my half a year of planner, and I got all of my notes for all the different phases, and the waxing gibbous is my best moon phase.
Ooh.
What does that mean? What is the waxing gibbous like? What's the stuff around it?
The waxing gibbous is almost full, so there's a lot of energy available there. People who were born during a waxing gibbous phase, which I was, have, and this is the only reason I know this, have difficulty finishing things because they're almost complete, they're almost full.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
but it just, I don't know. It could just be that like your mood, just what your cycle and your mood goes along with that cycle really well. Like having this, like, I don't have to be done, but I'm working towards it and I'm getting there. And that might just make you feel comfortable. Whereas like, I don't have to be done with this thing yet, but I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'm getting there.
Yeah. Feeling
We're making
accomplished.
progress.
I know feeling accomplished makes me feel happy. So that's probably has something to do with it, I bet.
You're almost there.
Yep. Awesome. And then all the rest of the times I was just tired. No. A lot of it was tired. But I already told you about that.
Yeah. That's why you need to winter. You need to winterize yourself.
Let winter be winter.
Well, and you have the chariot this year. So that's going to be you're definitely making a transition. You're moving one way or the other. So that'll be interesting to see what that makes.
Oh, is that your card of the year?
Well, that was the last part of mine was the chariot. Drawing that chariot.
Oh, okay.
So like I said, we were talking about whether it's a personal reading or, you're trying to do it for other people. And it's like, man, that fits really good for me, but it's really good for her knowing what's coming. So, interesting.
Well, folks, it is quarter to 12, 10 minutes to 12 here in the eastern part of the United States. So we probably should be wrapping this up so people can go to sleep. Yeah, because not all of us are in Los Angeles.
West Coast,
Erica's just
easily
eating dinner or something.
Easily the longest switching hours episode we've ever done. We're going on 4 hours.
Almost 4 hours.
You're getting those hours in.
Yeah.
I think this is a great idea. I appreciate you guys having me on here, and I loved all the guests. I almost, like, when it came time for me to come on, I'm like, oh, pay attention, focus. Like, 'cause I was just having fun watching and listening and learning with all the other guests.
Awesome.
So,
well, I knew this was going to be a different kind of stream tonight, but to be honest with you, I'm down for even if without having like a specific thing we're going to nail down like we normally do with the witching hours, I'd be completely down for just doing more of these, just jumping on and just talking about stuff. So yeah,
I've already decided my new Tuesday nights can be stuff like this too, where somebody pops in and we just hang out and chit chat. So Erica had another question. Have you all met in person before? We have not, but we've been talking about it because Alyson just lives in North Carolina and we live in Virginia. So we're pretty close.
I lived in Richmond, Virginia around the same time that you guys lived there.
Yeah. I think that we probably ran into each other.
I think we probably did too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was going to tell YoErika, right, when we were going out, we went to the West Coast. Well, I went to the West Coast for the first time last summer. But next time, if we ever go out to the West Coast again, that'll be a definite, like, hey, we got to meet up somewhere and do it.
Got to see Erica and Luke. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, so it's interesting. And, and that's kind of like what we saw. Like, there's all these cool communities and cool people.
Oh, yeah, and Linguist. Linguist is out there
Linguist,
on the West Coast, too. Yeah.
I always forget Linguist is on the... So, yeah, your streams finish early for her.
That's true. Although sometimes she does fall asleep, so she must be a early riser.
That's okay. I'm a night owl. And see, you're seeing us tonight because normally when we do these, we have work in the morning. And we're on Christmas vacay, so I can go to 3 a.m. We can do a real witching hour stream. We'll go all the way to 3.
Go till 3 o'clock in the morning. You definitely could go till 3 in the morning. The rest of us need to get some sleep.
Okay, everybody. So thank you, Charity. Thank you, YoErika, for coming on and hanging out with us. Thank you, Priestess of Wonderland. Go follow all these wonderful people. Go check out their YouTubes, Discords,
Facebooks.
I don't follow a lot of people and I don't get into a lot of people's Discords, but I'm in like all of theirs. So
yeah,
they're definitely all worth it. So what do we have going on? We got anything going on tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night is my reading night.
So,
Friday.
Tomorrow night, we got Medium Janisse Lee. I'll see most there.
Yep.
Twitch.com.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's good.
And thank you, Linguist and Sylvie, for sending in predictions that we got to read. They were great too.
Linguist Sylvie. Thanks, Keisha, for
Keisha's always keeping stuff in line.
So anyway, I guess we'll go ahead and end it there. Do we want to go ahead and raid tonight? Normally we don't raid because like we're cutting it, but I think tonight's been. We had some good.
Guidance Tarot has rated me twice.
Okay. So just spelled them away.
GUIDIANCE.
Tarot.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like not tarot after it. It's just.
Yeah.
It's
all one word.
No. It's just guidance. I get it's GUIDIANCE. No tarot. GUIDIANCE.
Okay. Yes, we're gonna go raid guidance. Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Gotta do it for my other.
What?
And YoErika thought you guys weren't married.
Yeah. Here we are yelling at each other. No, that's not it. Okay.
All right, everyone. Take care. We'll see y'all later. Bye, everybody. Bye. Have a happy New Year.
Happy New Year. See you something for you tomorrow.
Thank you for listening to The Witching Hours. You can visit our social media at facebook.com. Follow Medium Janisse Lee on Twitter and YouTube, which contains videos related to mediumship, tarot, and general weirdness. You can follow Giant of the Frost at Twitter and Frost Giant Rune and Tarot, where you can find personalized rune and tarot readings. Past episodes of The Witching Hours can be found on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and many other places you listen to your podcasts.